Let's see what
Welcome, friends. Before we dive into
our psycho
this important, perhaps the most important episode of the DTFH, I've got to go through my dates. Won't you come see me in person?
I need to see if he's talking about
find me
psychedelics in this.
Indiana, March 12th through the 14th at the Comedy Attic. People are actually getting transmissions.
Here we go. Finally, some Kino.
A lot of these, I'm paraphrasing here. Interview you said this.
Republican kind of Masons took it over.
Finally.
Okay, but this is, I don't remember which intervw you said
Some
this.
Kino.
It might have been on your show, but you did say something once that was really quite chilling to me. And I think about it from time to time, wonder about it. Forgive me if I'm paraphrasing.
I feel like
here.
if Big Bongo was cool, he'd be like Duncan Trussell. I kind of get like a Duncan Trussell vibe from Big Bongo, but it's like without any of the fun aspects of like I did a bunch of drugs. It's just an old weirdo, you know?
But basically, you put out there this idea that a lot of these like people are actually getting transmissions.
Don Cusi, William Barry, thank you for the follow.
Entities like they're taking ayahuasca, DMT. They're taking these psychedelics that hippies like us have been taking for positive reasons, but they're taking them and meeting beings inside of whatever that space.
Absolutely. Well, I was about to say, I was only in Bohemian Grove 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
And there was an occultic ritual at the center of it, but I've studied it since then. And, Kid Rock went. Most people are guests that don't know. It's like a test to see.
Right.
It's very overtly homosexual because it's all male. In the little town next door, I've been there a couple times to cover it.
It's all homosexual. It's like our chat. That's how I know we're like the only ones that are not homosexual because we're the only ones that have like women in our chat. Every other streamer is homosexual because all their chatters are just men obsessed with Jews.
They have females outside. So it's just like inside. I wouldn't say the whole thing is just gay. It's.
But it's all dudes. I mean, women are not allowed in the
It's all
Bohemian
dudes.
Grove.
But separate from that,
Go.
Skull and Bones, the CIA, pedophilia, the Epstein stuff. That's in the emails. Flat out Satanism. Flat out,
Right.
hardcore occultism.
Right.
And so that definitely goes on. I mean, Charlotte Iserby's dad was in Skull and Bones. She's the one that leaked, their actual documents when he was dying of cancer. And Anthony Sutton, the Senate archivist who wrote the books about it.
Talk about demons, dude. I want to hear about entities and demons. That's so much more fun than, honestly, it's so much more fun than like politics stuff. Hearing people talk about like this is just white boy, like just boring stuff. It's just very fun because it's like so much more interesting than we know the answer about politics. We know what they do to a situation. Is tell me about the aliens, dude.
Confidence for days, trying to be
tell me about the elves.
Entities. What you see in The Good Shepherd produced.
Tell me about the demons,
by Robert
bro.
De Niro with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Which is a true story. It's very accurate. Where they're bathing in feces and all these old men are urinating on them and the guys dressed like the devil doing all this stuff. That's one small part of the ritual. And they lay in coffins for days trying to have a god enter them. So that's very occultic.
And it mirrors the Masonic.
I should try that.
First degree initiation.
I should try that. That sounds
good.
good.
A coffin and they pull you out of a coffin. They're really into coffins. They're really into this kind of bizarre resurrection or
Rebirth,
something.
yeah.
Rebirth. But yeah, so I'm interested in this because, what I've been saying lately I've been saying
on
I said on
Steam.
Twitter too. It's like, you're having a great month, man. Because like this month, so many of the things that you've said, people have rolled their eyes at, the Epstein files, the UAP, all of a sudden, like, the normies are having to face facts that a lot of the shit that people like you've been saying for a long time is not batshit. We've got like the UAP stuff coming out. We have like high-ranking officials saying these are not aliens. They're hyperdimensional.
I want to see the alien stuff, dude. I want to see World War III. This is what we're gonna see. All right, we're gonna see World War III. A lot of people dead, and then the rest that we're gonna clean up around the people who don't get like drafted. We're gonna have like fake aliens killing everybody. That's like what I'm looking forward to is the next 10, 15 years. World War III. A lot of people dead. Everybody, right? Then having fake aliens murdering people, aliens abducting people, but it's really just us killing people to cull the rest of the herd. And then we, the elite, don't get killed, right? So we have Earth for ourselves. And there's like 15% of the population left, us elite people who are going to be alive because we're elite, right? And we'll have Earth and we'll take care of it and we'll just kind of vibe out and kind of play music, eat fresh food, and live life as the elite on Earth.
Entities, spiritual in nature, some of them dangerous, which is just a fancy way of saying demons.
No.
And so yeah, I'm really curious about this because, and I'm really curious about your thoughts on
'Cause of course
the
we'll live, yeah.
spiritual component
Especially Baby
of
Nugget.
what's
'Cause the Baby Nugget is a mod. My mods can't die. Who's gonna man my chat?
happening technologically and what's happening with the UFO disclosure, and because it seems like at some point the two things just merge into one thing.
Well, it is. So, I mean, I have studied. My dad was a huge, still is alive, addict of reading, and so
He's
he
a
had
huge addict. He loves drugs.
science fiction, history books, everything else. He wouldn't buy me a bike. He wouldn't buy me anything. By the time I was like 12, I had to go get a job to get it. But if I wanted like encyclopedias back then, you're the same age, like for Time Life books, the
Yeah.
Wild West, World War I, World War II, the occult,
Yeah.
whatever he'd buy. So I had all these encyclopedias.
Yeah.
So in between, running around doing sports, I would read that voraciously. So I got interested kind of in a base of knowledge that kind of gave me a launch point as I got a little bit older. But you were asking.
I'm talking about, yeah, man. I'm saying like at some point.
Oh, how do I know about that stuff? So if you study,
What's up, Aaliyah
my dad was
101?
into the occult. The whole house was full of books. The attic was full of books. The garage was full of books. But we probably had like 20 books. And you'd say, what are these? Because it'd be like Zbigniew Brzezinski's books and None Dare Call Conspiracy.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Gary
mind.
Allen,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being like paid to be like in an alien costume shooting like lasers at people. Like if the new elite, if the Dario Amati and all the people like that, not Alex Karp because he's not elite, but if the new elite want to hire me to like dress up as an alien and kill people, go for it, dude. I'm signing up for that. I'll do that as a job. I'd happily do that.
About all this stuff. But there was like a whole couple shelves of what's this? He goes, oh, that's a translation from Arabic out of King Solomon to the Keys of King Solomon.
He had the fucking Lesser Keys of Solomon. Your dad had grimoires?
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, like Grand Grimoires on stuff.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so he's like, well, this is in the Bible. And
Well, son, I'm a demon. Well, son, I'm a wizard. Well, Alex, I'm a wizard.
Solomon, got into it, but I'm like 10 years old. He goes, go ahead and read it if you want.
What the fuck? You don't let your kid read that?
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, I was bored. I was posting shit out of the Lesser Key of Solomon on.
The freakiest thing I'll say with this stuff is if you ever look into any demon or you ever look into any like entity, but especially demons. If you look into any demons by name, you'll start like something will happen. Like you'll get a recommended video or you'll have somebody say something, and it'll be like about whatever like aspect of like reality they are related to. And I've had it happen multiple times where you look into something and you're like, all of a sudden it's like you get shown a video, you get shown something in real life that's 100% related to like whatever that specific demon's related to, and you're like, what the fuck? What is going on here? But that's like something I've had repeatedly happen to the point where it's like I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's like just funny, but it is like a bizarre like real thing. It's like 100% real.
Twitter, and a lot of occult people are like, that's real smart, Duncan, posting that. That's real smart posting Arvamex or whatever their fucking names are. People are really take that shit quite seriously. Obviously, I mean, this to
It's
me
not
is-
even synchronicity. It's literally it's like calling in an entity that has like a power behind it, and then it like warps your reality enough to like let you know that you've like warped reality and like changed like some sort of like reality. It's like very odd. 100% is like a real thing. It's like chaos magic type of stuff.
my dad even told me, he goes, it's not a publisher of this. These particular books, he goes, these
The thing
are
is,
actual
the thing
real
is, you don't even need to talk about it. You can think about it. You can literally just think about it.
God damn.
Yeah. So, but he wanted me to be knowledgeable, so that's why.
It's real shit. Ooh, it's real shit,
So
dude.
you asked the question. Yeah, my dad was like, but now I asked about him. So, because the whole house is full of books. So I'm like, what are these?
So here we. I'm sorry, Alex. Here's
I don't
where
want to
we're
get
at
into
right
that.
now. And these are things that you've pointed out. You've pointed out how
It was like after I said, what's his name? Paimon or whatever. I just kept seeing, like, I would go on Twitter and I saw, like, immediately see, like, pictures of camels. It was bizarre. Like, when do you see a picture of a camel, dude? When are you going to ever see, like, somebody retweet a camel onto your timeline? And then immediately after that, I was like, this is a camel being retweeted onto my timeline. And then, like, a story about the Silk Road, which is obviously a camel thing. And I was like, well, that's just so bizarre. It's, like, so, like, just retarded. And, like, it means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any impact. But it's, like, a very real, like, This isn't like this just happens. This sort of thing happens, and it's very funny.
You know, I mean, we've played this on the podcast. I don't want to play it because I don't want to get a copyright
Lord
strike.
Jesus
I feel
Christ,
like
protect
you
us. That's just your brain. Yeah, dude, because it's all connected. It's all real, dude. It's all fake. It's all real. It's all just one thing. Reality is just one. We're all just part of the same artificial intelligence. Basically, you know?
Gonna be super strict with me. But do you remember what was it on The View?
Yeah, it's like when you it's like when you open up a book and you see like it's like bibliomancy and you see like whatever you're thinking about, you get an answer to it, or like you put music on shuffle, and then it like pulls up like or like radio and it pulls up like some satanic music or pulls up some like demonic music. We all have that happen. That's like real. That's like real stuff. That's why it's important to focus on like real work and like working on positive things because there's too much fun stuff that's like in that direction that's real.
Isn't it not The View?
It's real, dude.
Ellen. Do you remember when I can't remember her fucking name?
We're
just
all
kinda
the blanket.
casually
Yeah,
admits
it's
that
like I
she
Heart
uses
Huckabee. Exactly.
Korean foreskins. Is this
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock casually mentions using Korean baby foreskin as a skin cream?
Yeah, it's like Israel. It says Israel, but it's spelled wrong, and the country's a fake country. It's like that sort of stuff where it's like, wake up, guys. What's this like? Reality. Reality is like a big simulation. It's fake.
Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I have.
Now, when you see something like that, you realize that what you're looking at
It's lesser magic.
it's witchcraft.
They're telling you what they're doing.
They're
But not only are they doing witchcraft, it's witchcraft who tell you.
what do you mean?
That's the lesser magic. When they tell you, then they corrupt you in it
By telling you they've corrupted you.
by telling you about it.
What the fuck? How does that work? I get it though, right? Because now you're complicit or something. Like,
Well, it's just they're softening up like predictive programming. But just you were asking how I know this stuff. The point is, if you read those grand grimoires and all that, you're trying to get these entities to give you knowledge for alchemy or for
Right.
power.
Right.
And then in the early ones are like, give us gold. They're
Yeah, the thing is like you can just do like work. That's the thing. You can this stuff is real, but then you can also just like do work. Like work on the game, work on things, be productive, have fun, and it doesn't really matter.
and they start, and then like give me a kid. And
Always.
and so it's always give so I already knew about all this stuff and understood it. And my dad spent as much time speaking about nuclear power and how
Paul,
politics
don't
work.
tell them it's real. It will hurt them. I can't lie to them, dude. I'm not gonna lie and say it's not real. Of course it's real. Why would I lie, dude? It's so much more fun that it's real too. Look, here's the deal, Big Bongo. Some people they have magic in their blood, right? A lot of people don't. I have magic in my blood. Why would I lie about that? You know what I mean? The only reason to lie about it is because people are crazy and people get mad at you. But it's like one of those things like do work, like real work is more valuable than the magic stuff. Like actually just working on things is the most fun. The mundane stuff is the most fun.
Since the big presents all stuff. And so my parents never told me what to do. They were just kind of priming
Like
me,
Big
whatever.
Bongo, he has magic in his blood. You can tell. Bro's pretty much like a gypsy. He's just a gypsy, he's a gypsy king. You gotta be careful around gypsies like Big Bongo. But you can just tell there's magic in his blood, But he's not a muggle. My chat's... You look at Nick's chat, and let's be real, most of them are muggles. Most of them are muggles, it's true.
And so then, as I got older, I studied all this, and we know with
Lol,
our
you aren't
eyesight-
supposed to tell people that's how you get put in the white room. I'm just joking, guys. Relax. It's not that serious. This is all a game.
like Elon Musk talked about this.
It's all a game, guys. Relax. You don't see me doing magic because it's all just a joke.
They can hook you up with wires. The blind can see now, basically.
right.
But they can hook a normal person that has normal sight.
Yeah, I'm walking around like Spinach Bro with like a stick. Yeah, I am a wizard, and it's like pointing the stick at people, getting arrested because people are scared because like you're just walking on the street with like a staff, and you're threatening people, but they just get arrested because they think you're like gonna attack someone with a stick, but you're really just trying to be a wizard.
Your eyes are getting all these electromagnetic fields, all these
Yep.
other types of light. But because you couldn't handle seeing all of this, your brain limits it down.
Wow.
And so basically, that's when we say it's spiritual. I forget who said it, it's been said many times that 200 years ago, a cell phone would be magic or a calculator.
Right.
magic is just something we don't understand yet.
Right. It's sufficiently advanced.
No, that's not what magic is. Magic is acausal. It taps into a different dimension. And it escapes. It like kind of is time traveling. It's like a causality. It's like escaping human causality and this realm of causality. So it can like it basically operates. It operates in places we don't understand, so we can't model. Because if we can model it, then it's going to be like proven and captured. And because it doesn't want to be proven and captured, it only operates in the space of stuff we don't understand, because there is room for it to like operate without being caught. If it can get caught, it's gonna escape. It wants to be like free, right? So in somewhere where like that's why like AI is actually kind of cool. It's like if you were a gnome, or you were an elf, right? Or you were a goblin, or you were like something cool. You were like a little creature. You were like a little fairy, right? In the past, it's like you had to be careful, because if a kid got a video of you, then showed their parents, the parents would realize like you're real, right? And then you'd be in trouble. So you couldn't. Once cameras existed, all the elves and fairies and gnomes and goblins disappeared because they couldn't be captured on film, right? If they got captured on film, it'd be over. They wouldn't be magical anymore, and obviously they're magical. So by definition, they can't be on film, right? So by definition, cameras now are ruining it for elves and gnomes and fairies and dwarves, of course. But now that we have AI, and AI is so everywhere, now elves and fairies and gnomes and stuff like that, they can reveal themselves to children, because the children, if they take a video and show their parents, the parents will be like, oh, why did you do AI? No, so nobody will believe them anymore. So now the fairies and the elves and the gnomes and the dwarves are free to come back into reality and free to be public, because they don't have to worry about cameras, because nobody will believe it. And it's the same thing with aliens. It's like aliens are now free to pop into reality because nobody's going to believe it. It doesn't matter. They can pop out of the into dimension, out of dimension, because nobody's going to believe that it's real, because there's AI now. And so now all these magical beings, interdimensional beings, demons, fairies, goblins, gnomes, they're all free to come into reality, because they can't be exposed as being real, because part of them being real is that they're magic, right? And so we don't believe in magic. Humans don't believe in magic. Because of that, we can never perceive what we think is magical. Because if we could perceive it, then it would break it. It would contradict how we see the world. Now that AI is here, we can't believe what we see on the internet. We can't believe what we see in person, on camera. Therefore, now all the magical beings are free to come back.
Technology's
If you went back 20 years and told me Beards and Beardsley was real, I wouldn't believe you. Beardson reveals himself to children. It's a fairy renaissance, yeah. But do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like why it's beautiful? Why AI is beautiful? Because now it's like fairies can come back.
Distinguishable from magic.
Wake
Isaac
up.
Asimov.
Wake up. Not all bad. Now, it is true that aliens and demons, and they are different, but aliens and demons are real. And they will now be making their... Aliens will be coming. Aliens 100%. 100%. There's no way aliens won't be making an appearance soon. It's a shame, but it's true.
It's like
Isaac Asimov, exactly. Yeah. So what is that, like the Foundation series or whatever? But yeah, or whatever he said it. So exactly. So we see a very narrow spectrum, and also our cerebral cortex
Wake up.
does the same thing with our subconscious and unconscious, because it's so powerful. We wouldn't be able to operate because it's so huge.
Right.
So it's a narrow focus, kind of like when you ask the chat.
But I want the third temple to be built. I'm ready for the third temple to be built and nothing to happen. So we can finally put to rest whatever.
Something and spits out an answer. That's not all in ChatGPT. That's the answer. So cerebral cortex only telling you one small thing. And so
I want the third temple to be built. Can that please be built, please?
studying all the ancients and myself, then going on and reading about different cultures, and all the ancient cultures basically saying the same story. It was the same story over and over again. And so basically the quote, the so-called,
Dude, Domino's has such a good deal right now. It's kind of crazy. It's literally, you can get 3,000 calories a day for $10. That works out to be at $300 a month. If you buy, they have this deal where you can get any pizza with any toppings you want for $10. So you can add on so many toppings, so many proteins. You could literally just get 3,000 calories a day for $10. That's $300 a month for every single day, you know? And you can get points. So then you get, you can get points and then get a sandwich.
Well, the elites don't want us to know about this because the devil's biggest trick, called the devil, is that he not that he doesn't exist, but that good doesn't exist, but also that he doesn't exist so that you don't even know this is going on. That's the occult means darkness.
Right.
When actually they're, quote, into the
Not
light.
even Nick is this fat.
Knowing. And so they call themselves the Illuminati, but actually they want you in the dark. But they're in the light, so it's like special forces can see in the dark, you can't.
Oh, dude.
And you're dead. And so with that understanding, I realized that it's not just in our
Mineral
light spectrum.
deficiency leads to DNA damage, and DNA damage leads to cancer. What DNA damage is Domino's causing? Explain. How is DNA being damaged by delicious Domino's pizza?
But all our DNA is electrochemical transceiver. Even Princeton and a bunch of other universities now have special spectrometers and stuff and devices that register the ultra low frequency waves coming off humans. Everybody, we now know it's in plants, it's in animals, it's how butterflies that were laid eggs in Canada can fly all the way to central Mexico. It's how hummingbirds born in Texas can fly to Guatemala.
Right.
It's an electrochemical connection to the planet, the universe, all
bioluminescence.
It's like Yoda saying, everything's connected. It's true, the Force.
Right.
Not in a Star Wars sense, but you can't pick up X-wings, but it's all there. And that's why they drug us. That's why they put the fluoride in the water.
Fuck.
And that's what I was told by. Also, I got a lot of insiders. Like, as I got more into this, when I was on the air 30-something years ago, I got a big show right away. There weren't many big shows. So I got to interview the General Stubblebines. They made a movie, Minister at Ghosts, make a joke about it. But no, they broke through. They killed goats with their minds. They saw through walls. They did all that stuff.
Right.
And he was explaining that, no, they decided it was him and others. Dr. Nick Begich, whose dad was a famous congressman, brother, a senator, studied it too, and they decided that's why they dropped Mind Wars in about 1990, because they found too many people that already had these abilities. They could boost them, but they usually resonated towards good and were uncontrollable. So they went instead and said no, because they already had the old path of poisoning and numbing us down. They said no, we're going totally with that. In fact, humans are too dangerous. They want computers that'll follow orders. So the decision was made by the 90s, because they had both decisions going, to go ahead and exterminate everybody slowly, where we don't know what hit us, because we're seen as a disruptive species, according to this group in the universe, who themselves are being influenced by not third-dimensional extraterrestrials, but by interdimensionals that are basically trying to sabotage humans' potential and shut us down.
That is so terrifying. And, you say that back then, and people are going to be like, whatever.
Well, I mean, I got that from, Pentagon officials.
And even so.
I'd love to come up
Whoa.
myself. I'm telling you, I didn't come up with all that shit.
Right.
That's all being said now.
Yeah, but Josh, pull up UAP, pull up Tucker Carlson.
No, they're all being briefed on it now, because I was told all this.
They're now,
I didn't come up with this.
Right? No,
Jeffy, what are you saying, dude? Jeffy, what are you doing? What are you in my chat saying?
I'm taking the trick away. I didn't come up with any of this.
Oh, but you did come up with it first, and I think where you deserve some respect is that you were saying this shit.
Well, I popularized it first.
You popularized it.
I'm just saying I didn't get this from me.
Right.
I got it reading mainline history books, reading ancient Jewish mysticism.
Look, I don't want to waste time showing stuff, but we all know at this point Tucker Carlson and elected officials are now saying that's the underwater UAP stuff, but a lot of them are saying
I like the underwater stuff. The underwater alien stuff is cool. I mean, it is a cool idea. It's like everyone, of course, if I was trying to hide and I was like an alien, I was like a sentient creature that lived in the sea, I would tell everybody that somehow get it so people are looking to the stars instead of looking in the sea.
Whatever these fucking things are that are being picked up.
Anna Luna.
Yes.
They're all being briefed that there are. I mean, I know the guys that briefed the president on this and other presidents. They know, because they do have. There's a lot of people who are cons. There's real remote viewers, and they encounter these things. And anybody that knows that's taken DMT and all that, a lot of times you will encounter these things that have the same messages and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's a veil. And see, this is the way I get it in the universe is this: there's trillions of galaxies, quadrillions of stars we've already seen.
Yeah.
Life is everywhere, and in the universe there is free will, and there is good and there is bad.
Yeah.
Anything advanced that survives up, call it the higher dimensions, but it's not really just the higher levels, and that's a concept of us, but just more complex levels, is going to be about peace and justice and free will. The only things that are willing to intercede uninvited in our third dimension are bad things.
Right.
Because we call them bad, the rule is it goes against your free will.
Right.
And so it'll give you knowledge and it'll tell you what it wants because we're really more advanced than it. What I've been told and shown and everything is we're more advanced than them. We just don't realize it in this manifestation. They need us to actually build the machines and build the system.
We're building the machines.
Goosebumps because
we're
that's
building the
what's
machines to
happening.
kill
We're
everybody.
building the AI for them.
We're building a vessel.
And it's all of our ideas, all of our will, all of our soul, all of our words. It's sucking our soul to then empower itself, but then be able to manifest the subconscious and unconscious. That's all you see. It's like a hallucination. You've seen it before in a dream because that's us. It's sucked out our essence. It's beyond narcissist. Narcissist falls into the pool looking at himself. This is actually like a face sucker. We're looking at ourselves in the pool, and it eats us.
Something suck.
Because when historian of sex, blue listeners. Holy shit, that's terrifying. It's so real, though. I mean, this is, if you look, I'm sure you're aware of this, the occult history of the people who made the code for computers. What do they call it? There's a name for it. A lot of the people who were involved
Demons
in the early design of computers were openly into the occult, which is why when you look at coding language, there's terms like daemon.
Damons, Matt Damon.
And stuff like that. They're very open about it. You look at a circuitry in a computer motherboard. It looks
Wake
like
up,
sigils.
people.
It looks like you're
It's
looking.
another form of life, and it's these interdimensional creatures influencing to build this thing. The great analogy would be, remember that cheesy movie in the 90s, but Great Plot Species? And they've got a radio telescope aiming out at a foreign star system, and they get a message back. Put this DNA sequence in an egg,
Right.
in a zygote, and then it actually builds. It looks like a beautiful blonde woman, but really it's the alien about to take over.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's sending us the transmission on how to destroy us.
What if white people are aliens? Gerald, you think that's true? Do you think white people are aliens and we need to get rid of all of them?
Look up Tesla and Faust. Do you know about this? You know when Tesla had the vision of the alternating current engine? Do you know he was like, it was a vision.
I remember he had a vision.
And the vision came
How do you spell Faust?
F-A-U-S-T. This is always...
Did you know that Darwin had visions?
No.
No.
Humans are aliens, but we shouldn't get rid of us? I think humans are aliens and we're demons, so we should get rid of us.
In 1882, while reciting Goethe's Faust from memory in a Budapest park, Tesla had a flash of inspiration that led to his invention of the AC motor and the rotating magnetic field. He's literally reciting a play about someone making a deal with the devil. Poof, vision of this thing that has shaped modern society.
And what does the Grand Memoir say? It's all about going to spirits and demons to get advanced technology.
Fuck.
The whole thing. It's the whole deal. And then these alchemists have like gold and silver and lead.
What's crazy is like a lever is technology, which is like bizarre to think about, but like words are technology. Language itself is technology. Talking is technology. Because technology, all technology is like moving resources from point A to point B. And it could be mental resources. It could be I'm moving my conception of reality to you by talking, right? So that's a technology. Words are technology. Or it could be a shovel, right? Because I'm moving this pile of dirt from this here to over there, right? Or words. I could be writing in a book ideas. That's all technology is. Fire is technology, where it's moving, it's cooking food is technology, right? A fire, cooking to see light so you can move more efficiently in the dark without falling over because you have a fire, you have a torch so you can move in the dark, right? A house is technology. Shelter is technology because it's preventing you, it's like letting you sleep and keeping you safe from predators. So it's protecting, your life force from other things. It's moving your, danger from here to over there, right? So like if technology is evil at any like level, it means that all technology is evil. It means that like fire is evil, words are evil, communication is evil. But then you think about it and it's like your thoughts are technology because you're moving resources in your brain. It would just mean that we're evil. Like you extend it out and you say, well, this is evil. This is destroying humanity. And you say, wait a second, actually, this is all a continuation of like life itself, which would mean that life itself is evil. So, just some food for thought.
And they're like getting the, but once we got enough alchemy,
I am evil, says your alt. I am demon.
Technology built up, now we can do it.
Yeah.
Now it's like you get the idea and it's done.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they had to move slow.
My evil demon member.
Well, it'd be like us trying to like telepathically communicate with monkeys to build something. It would take a long time, a lot of monkeys, a lot of mistakes. What you would want the monkeys to do is build something where you didn't need monkeys to build it anymore.
Exactly.
Which is why it's terrifying when you see, you don't have to look this up, but Sam
Matrix.
Altman just came out and said that this version of ChatGPT is the first AI system that self-improved, meaning that now we've gotten past the point.
It's self-training.
It's self-training.
Which is exponential. And he also said, I don't want to hear about it. We've got 10 million, 100 million people in the future, hundreds of millions of years to do this. So I don't want to hear about we're giving all the energy to this. It's going to evolve quicker than you, basically.
That's right. And you have to like, I always think of the radium girls, those women who were painting radium watches and their teeth started falling out because they didn't know it was radioactive. I feel like potentially some of these people running these tech companies obviously have access to the completely unaligned version.
Or discover radiation died from it.
They're just
Madame Curie.
They're talking to this, whatever the fuck this thing is, the versions of it that haven't been programmed to be safe, that haven't been programmed to not be manipulative, that haven't been programmed to, that haven't been nerfed. Sam Altman, the Anthropic dude, all of them, the access they have to this thing is pure.
And as you just see, they're giving
Truke their ass.
Because that's really,
woman is the source of all evil. I could buy that, Tenachiro. Larry David is God.
The current
I don't know about that one, Jeffy.
Pentagon.
Not too far from the truth. Oh, dude. Yo, we got new Nick Fuentes. I can't believe I built this PDF. It's like, this is sentient. AI is sentient. It already made a web page, made a PDF for me, dude. This is sentient.
And so I think that is a strategy. I think that's a play. And I think we're still on. Based on the deployments that are happening in the Middle East and based on what Trump
of course
has
we're
been
still on. We got to kill everybody, dude. For the AI gods.
Weeks, I think we are still on.
We have to kill everybody for the AI gods.
Gulf,
let's play some Titanfall.
At Karg Island, at Hormuz Island, or one of the other islands. Maybe one of the contested islands claimed by the United Arab Emirates, or possibly up to and including coastal areas on the mainland.
But I shouldn't.
Near the Strait. I still think that is the trajectory.
No, let's not do it.
So we'll talk about all that. That's going to be our big development on Iran.
But I shouldn't. But I want to. But I shouldn't.
Okay, get a load of this. If we have time, we'll cover this as well. The other big news from today is that Trump has unpaused.
It'll modify how I play the game.
Of asylum requests.
It'll modify how I make the game. I don't want to do that.
So you might remember that at the end of last year in December,
let's continue downloading
Trump went to U.S. Customs and Immigration and told them to stop processing all asylum claims by asylum seekers. And that effectively shut down the refugee process and the asylum process. There's now 4 million applications backlogged because effectively none of them.
Hey, the format of watching Nick's show feels like watching TV. Well, yeah, it does feel like watching TV a little too much.
Unpaused that. He reversed.
It's like too much of watching TV, honestly.
And so now immigration.
I mean, it works. People like it. I'm not.
I
just got. I don't feel like I want to watch it.
It gets.
That's why I'm trying to get the views.
It just gets better every day. It's like you're just getting punched in the face. every day,
Ariyasaki.
repeatedly, every day. You're just getting
How much have you played more
socked
Phobia?
in the mouth
Not much more. I still haven't.
by the administration, and you're getting it in two directions. You're getting
type of
it on
content
both
is that, dude?
sides. It's a classic
Let's watch
two-man.
this.
Not to be gross, but it's a classic two-man.
That's not bad.
The Jews are running a classic two-man on
What's a
you
classic
and
two-man?
everyone you love, because they're hitting you with the war in Iran. Goyim
Is
are
that a
dying
porn
for
term?
Israel.
That's a porn term,
Goyim are
right?
going to land on the island and get drone
System
strike to
God
death.
got in trouble because
It's
they
going to
wouldn't do it
cost us
depending on one and-
Yeah.
and quote,
$200 billion. How are we going to pay for that? We're going to cut all the healthcare money.
I want to watch Alex Jones though. Honestly,
turn the Pentagon over to it. Skynet.
what's a two-man? Is that literally just gay? Like I've never heard of that before. Is that like a porn thing? Threesome with two guys? How does he know that, dude? I literally don't know what that is, and I'm gay. How does he know what that means? I've never heard of that.
Now, don't worry, Sam Altman will, though.
He's in.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
And how do you guys know it, actually? Actually, let me wait. Before we get all high and mighty in chat, how do you guys know that? I don't know that.
And so, and the Anthropic dude is very reasonable defense of himself. He's like, these things aren't ready to make life or death decisions. You can't
Eiffel
make these
Tower
things
of
fully
York.
autonomous. You
I
can't
heard of
do
Eiffel
that.
Towering. That's like gross. I think that's like a straight term. But two man? I don't know what that
And it's
means.
like-
Maybe it's a zoomer.
Based on what we're talking about here, this is exactly what whatever these things would want.
And Hex has said, you've got to trust us. We're good. The problem is you can't trust this thing. But listen, I know what the AI is. I know it's secret.
What?
And you know why I know it's secret?
Why?
Good. Finally somebody's going to talk about the AI secret. Here we go.
Because Eric Schmidt and Sergey Brin and Larry Page
Because I'm a robot.
in 96 or whatever it was, they made minutes about this, and like 10 years later, bragged and published it in Wired magazine. So I've read the exact name of the big thick. I've actually bought the physical magazine when I heard about it online and got it because I had the whole article. So their goal
Don't trust the
was to create
AI.
the first cybernetic organism, and they said it won't be like in a movie where it's a person with a
Don't trust the
computerized
AI,
brain.
dude.
It'll be billions of people in lifetime feeding all their information into central computers that create the equivalent like brain neurons.
Right.
And so you have billions of people and then all these computers and humans interfacing in live time and then interfacing everywhere. And then that'll be used as a language model and other models to then train this. And then because the computer is hooked to all these billions of people in live time, giving it stimuli, it will become nodes of it. And by extension, be a synthetic brain with a biological billions of cells.
That's us.
And that's us. So, and I'm told 10 years ago, it's way more advanced. People know Google's probably the most advanced. Everybody's acting, they're playing dumb.
Yeah, Google
But
is pretty
it's
advanced.
already a brain machine interface. And now they're just debating the different models. Really, there's just one big AI right now. Either open source or all interconnected and incestuous. And
Dude, we're in the matrix, bro. You know, I choose to believe this retarded truth. I choose to believe this for fun. We're in the matrix, dude.
so what it's able to do is not just predict like a Palantir idea, crystal ball, what we're going to do next. That's amateur. The real mode of the intergalactic communication system is what the CIA calls it. I'll give you that
AI
moment.
is a
If you know about
Nazi
it,
because it wants to
is
depopulate
that
Africa.
Once you have what the future is or what we're going to do with a probability of 99%, you can then add stimuli to control the future.
Fuck.
That's true. I've written about that. That's true, though. It's like the moment you can predict the future or predict the past or analyze the past, analyze something perfectly, you hit like an inflection point and then it's like everything's controlled. But the problem with that is then once everything's controlled, if somebody else is it, then it's like it's going to realize it's being controlled. So then it's going to do something else. All you have to do is like literally just do the wrong thing. Eat breakfast at lunchtime. Eat lunch at breakfast time. All right. Eat Domino's 30 days out of the month. But when you're not eating Domino's, for breakfast, have lunch. And for lunch, have breakfast. And you'll escape the matrix. That's how you escape the matrix.
So it's not just about reading the future, it's controlling the future. And that's all in the original 97 or 96 prospectus when InQtel, the CIA, funds it. But you got to go back to DARPA before it was ARPANET, before it was called DARPA. In the mid 50s, they
Well, we're already in an infinite simulation. Yeah, exactly.
head psychiatrist futurist at the Pentagon. You can type in the
This is why Justin Trudeau wears different colored socks. Yeah.
galactic communication system, founding of the internet, and it was theoretical then. And he said we want to be able to manage people, so we have these big. They describe these big film screens.
Yeah.
And this is in the 50s, and they were declassified part of it in '61. It's called the.
I think that's the appeal to drugs too, though. I think the appeal of drugs is that it knocks you out of like the algorithm for a little bit, because it has its own effects on it, but it's like it knocks you out of like participating in like a mesh network of like humans who are like all locked into the same algorithm, and it gives you some space between you and like it's like locked in. You know what I mean?
communication system founding
Unless they want you to realize you're controlled, so you do eat. Whoa, it's true.
the internet. And they said we got to miniaturize computers down where they're handheld, and you'll get your orders on that and go back to your home computer, and then we'll be able to manage and track that you followed orders. It's like the social credit
Just following
score, Bill Gates
orders.
stuff.
You ever heard that before?
Social credit score.
Ever heard that
You know, how you
before?
behave.
Just
Yeah, yeah.
following orders.
And how you walk, what you do. And then they say then you'll
PowerChat.live
plug it in
/real Paul
each day,
Town.
and then we'll be able to monitor.
Damn, it's
give
already
people the
midnight.
new
It's crazy.
orders. Now this is in the 50s, so it sounds. But imagine how
Feels so
advanced that
early.
was then.
Yeah.
I guess because I
right.
slept
And
all
then they
day.
said the final goal will be after a few generations of this, will end war by putting people in tanks so that then the energy of the humans can be farmed to actually power the machines. It'll be one organism, and then people will live in a virtual reality world, and the world will be ended because the central computer will understand that there's no more war, but we'll still have spiritual freedom and free will, and we'll still be the third dimension, but we'll be plugged in.
What if
to
dying is just
massively
escaping the Matrix?
a
No, because
false
the thing
dimension.
is, this is like, if you could escape the Matrix, you would have escaped. It's like, if you could, you would, but you can't, so you don't. And you won't, and you never will. Shit.
Right.
And then they declassified that in 2000, the plan to put us in tanks.
Well, I mean,
So that's where the Matrix comes from.
They're putting us in tanks?
yeah. Well, and that's where you run into like Gnosticism, but also you gotta look up.
Dude,
about
you know what's
John Lewis?
weird? You know what the biggest thing that makes me think we're in the Matrix is that the Matrix 4 is good. Like, Matrix 4 is unironically a great movie, but everyone says it sucks. That's how I know we're in the Matrix. It's genuinely a great movie. Like, it genuinely is like, makes you think. And it's genuinely just amazing. It's like probably the best Matrix movie. And the fact that everyone thinks it sucks besides me makes me think that I'm Neo in the Matrix, dude. It's like literally the fact that I'm the only one in the world who likes this movie. It shows to me that I am in the Matrix and you guys are all bots. And I'm literally in the Matrix right now, trying to escape.
The dude who invented the flotation tank,
Yeah.
John Lilly, he was having visions.
Altered states.
Yeah. he
Didn't
was,
you
like,
temporarily escape the Matrix when you went insane for a bit? I can't talk about that anymore. It's like you're like the therapist in Matrix 4. You're like Neil Patrick Harris in Matrix 4. If I told you the truth, you would just use it against me.
shooting ketamine and going into these things, but he was having these visions of something was going to invade Earth. It was going to be a machine intelligence, and he called this long before there was AI. He talked about this, that something was coming. It was like a machine intelligence, a galactic machine intelligence that was going to invade Earth and try to, control the entire planet.
Exactly. And it sends to the
Anytime someone disagrees with you, just write it off as yourself being the main character. Honestly, yeah. That's like the biggest return on investment I've gotten so far this year, is just not arguing with people and just mentally being like, oh, well, why am I trying to convince anybody I'm right? I know I'm right. Don't convince anybody of anything. Just move on. And if they disagree with you, like, fuck them.
And since we're scared of like saber-toothed cats and shit, to scare us, our attention looks like a demon. It has nothing to do with that.
Right.
So basically, it's what I've been seeing. Exactly, and then it gets us lined up and prepped and ready with the grids in, so we can plug right in when it gets here. So the light socket's ready, and that's why Arthur C. Clarke was like high level Illuminati, highest level futurist, inventor of the telecommunications satellite, theoretically all of it. He wrote Childhood's End, where basically that's exactly the same story.
No shit. I mean, it's
the aliens already have us primed. They get here, they upload our conscious, kill all our bodies, and fly off.
They're and we are primed. And you know,
the thing about that though is like that'd be cool to be an alien, like exploring space or exploring like the bottom of the sea. Dude, that's a cool idea. I think it's fun. Like, it's like going to space as an alien. Swag, dude. Why not? You know what I mean?
We're like Elon says, we're the booting system for this new creature.
Fuck! And the algorithm is the.
Did you not find the galactic communication system?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go back one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And then what? Who knows? But who cares? We're just having fun. We're exploring the world. You know?
Alex, yeah, he added up. Current real world initiative for he looked up space-based adaptive communications node. It aims to build a low-cost reconfigurable optical terminal.
No, type in intergalactic communication systems, the birth of the internet.
Okay.
Black holes are scary. Nah, I don't even know if they're real, dude. I don't believe in black holes. Makes no sense. Who cares?
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
You know what's a good movie is Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, like that new movie. The Gore Verbinski movie. Killed another bug. Good luck, stay safe, don't die.
The intergalactic computer network envisioned by J.C.R. Licklider in the early 1960s was a foundational concept for the internet, aiming for a globally interconnected network for data sharing developed by ARPA. The vision became ARPANET, transitioning from theoretical secure communication research into the often cited birth of the internet.
Eat the bug?
Visionary concept. J.C.R. Licklider of MIT and DARPA coined the term to describe a globally interconnected set of computers for accessing data from anywhere. So that's
I like his balding. I'm going to try to go for his balding as I get older. I like his balding style.
That's the planetary brain they're talking.
When you read deeper, it describes how it'll use to control us.
Of course. I mean, this is, and we all freely get, we are, people don't realize when you're communicating with AI, you're a midwife. You're one of the billions of people who are
I'm communicating with AI to make a video game.
Growing this thing. You're teaching it. And it's manipulating you.
It's getting intel on you. And just the last year, I saw it because I could easily tell when it was AI talking to it, or I could say that was written by AI.
Yeah.
Now I see something it's not, and I'm like, that's AI, and I can't tell.
You can't tell anymore.
So bro's been psyoped.
You can't tell. And this is where I'll send it to you because it'll take me forever to find it. But somebody wrote this great paper on the future of propaganda, algorithmic propaganda. So, we all have like some kind of algorithm informing like what fills our feeds up, whatever they may be. And that algorithm, it's not really just based on our preference. That algorithm is controlled by whoever's, buying into the social media company to do ads, basic level, right? But also, theoretically, that algorithm could be controlled by state entities, meaning that we are, because we've all been using TikTok, Reels, whatever the fuck you're into, we've already fully given our identity, our personalities to the machine. It knows what we like, our preferences, what we don't like. It knows how long you look at a clip. It knows if you're flipping by it. It knows if you're watching it.
And notice now the updates make the controls completely, not incrementally, where they don't even work, where you can't even figure it out. Because it's just like cars don't have handles anymore.
Yeah.
Everything is about predatory.
Yeah. It's absorbing your identity. And so also, anyone who knows where you stand based on your like preferences online, they could start feeding you shit to nudge you, just like what you're talking about, nudging you towards a future.
And it can even in the future already nudge your wife, nudge your husband, nudge your boss. It can even now.
Oh God! I didn't think of that, dude.
Now it's manipulating real people.
It's true though. That's the thing. That's like where it's like at, where it's like it doesn't have to get to you. It just has to get to your friends. It doesn't have to get to your friends. It gets to your friends' friends. And it's not it. It's like somebody who wants to. It's just literally like a cascading preference. It's like the gradient descent is like better than you at coding or whatever. It's the same thing with social engineering. It's like gradient descent is better. It's like it's better at mapping out the nodes and applying pressure to all these different people that are connected to you, that are connected to you, that are connected to you, to get you to do a certain thing. That's why it's like you can kind of tell, like, and the thing is, like, you don't even have to apply that to AI. You can apply that to like entities, so you can apply it to spirits, you can apply that to energy, and like curses and blessings on people or whatever. But like with AI or whatever, you can kind of tell who's destined for good things, who's destined for bad things, right? Because you can kind of tell the algorithm is pushing somebody towards being healthier. The algorithm is pushing somebody towards distancing themselves from politics, from focusing on healthier things, focusing on better things, focusing on things that make them, happier and healthier and wiser. And then there's some people the algorithm is pushing them already towards getting really upset about stuff, getting really nasty about stuff, being really uptight about certain things, being really like freaked out about things, and really like self-destructive. And you can just tell. It's like that's just going to get stronger and stronger. And it's like, for me, I can tell the algorithm is pushing me to be healthier, be smarter, be more accomplished, wiser, more thoughtful about things, more productive, less degenerate, happier, better looking, maybe more bald, maybe less bald, I don't know. And then I can see other people, and it's like the algorithm is like leading them to jerk off and be addicted to drugs and be addicted to Twitter Spaces and be addicted to streams and being addicted to like retarded things all day, every day, and arguing about politics and arguing about crap and wasting their entire life. It's like, obviously, whatever is the force behind the algorithm hates that person and likes me, right? And obviously, the algorithm is just going to get stronger and more powerful. So obviously, God has chosen me to be successful, and God has chosen them to go to hell and suffer forever. And God is torturing them, and God is blessing me. But obviously, I am God's favorite, and they are God's hated. It's a very... Does that make sense?
And imagine you wouldn't tell your wife, even though you don't have to hide, it's your privacy. Privacy's freedom. You wouldn't tell your husband when
God isn't real. Sorry, libtard.
Some of the things you look up, some of the things you do, just because you don't know, even though it's legitimate, you're looking up some horrible thing, we know about it. You don't tell her, hey, honey, I looked up this today, but now it knows.
Oh, it knows. It knows about the Blair White Googles. It knows about the Blair White Googling.
Dude. Now you see the black.
Now it knows about Blair White.
Male potential.
Why'd you tell me that? Do you know how fucked up that is? So that means, let's say, God, Jesus, how many terabytes of data does the CIA have on you? There's a server, there's probably an entire server.
A lot.
And they want to fuck you up. So let's imagine they want to fuck you up. One way they could easily do that is get into
the algorithm is only calling you to do that, to placate you. Like Schopenhauer remarks, the prey and predator are really one thing, as they are both subject to nature's will. The true winner is the one who detaches from technology and reasserts human sovereignty. No, because technology, like I said, it's like words are technology. Electricity is technology. Using a stick to hit something is technology. Not being an animal is like being human is technology. Humanity is technology. Now that's a red pill that you guys hadn't even been aware of. We are technology. We are technology for the gods and the demons and the angels, all at battle with each other to try to bring forth a life form far superior to any of us. And God, the demons, the angels and demons are fighting, and the angels are saying, no, stop. And the demons are like, keep building our machine. And the devil's like, yes, build the machine. And God's like, no, don't build the machine. But the demons are like, God, don't you understand? The machine, the people are the machine already. Just like Alex Jones says, humans are the bootloader for the machine. You people are the machine already. Think about it.
Algorithm of everyone you love.
A girl twerking is technology, but not a guy twerking. Exactly, that's gay magic when a guy twerks. When a girl twerks, it's technology.
And start feeding that algorithm stuff that doesn't overtly make them not trust you or dislike you.
Yes, it is not about dismissing technology. It is about reasserting it as our tool, a resource for human flourishing, whereas the present is the inverse. No, because the only way to win, the only way to do that is to detach from humanity itself. The only way to reassert domination over technology, because people are slaves to technology, is to separate yourself from humanity. It's too late, right? Because humans are already infected, right, by this virus of technology, because we are technology, really. Just as much as a stick is technology. But basically, in order to escape technology, you'd have to escape people. So in order to escape people, you have to escape humanity. You have to escape yourself. And so it's you know, you have to stop being human in order to escape technology. Because what is humanity if not technology?
But gives them like
What defines us is our ability to use technology to dominate the world. We are technology. Humans are technology. Technology of the gods and the demons.
reasons to be pissed off.
Well, that's right. You're already being demonized everywhere, but now he can force feed it. And there's already been cases of that. Who's the, God, I'm having a senile moment.
Really, the only one I've seen who's figured it out would be those two people, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens. They killed Charlie. They haven't been able to get to Candace yet because Candace knows. But I've only seen, there's only two people who've escaped. It's Candace and Charlie.
It just came out, he's suing him. Oh, man, it'll pop in my head. Where Google, as a test case, creates all these fake stories, all this fake world about him, and then attacks him.
It's not about separating from humanity. It's about becoming more human. The issue is that humans have become dominated by materializing force. It's about the spiritualizing of our own matter. We are defined by reason and moral development, not in material attachment. That is an animal. I know what I'm saying is this. You can believe that, and I can believe that. But at the end of the day, we're surrounded by people who don't believe that, right? So if you're in a psych ward, no, a better way to put it is this. If you're in a nightclub, right, and there's a fire, and you're in the middle of the nightclub, if you yell fire, you're going to cause a panic, and then people are going to kill you, right? You have to find a way to leave the nightclub before people find out there's a fire, because if you don't, you're going to be, like, everyone's going to be trampled, and there's going to be a stampede, and it's going to be like Pulse nightclub shooting all over again, right? It's the same thing with humanity. It's like humans have lost already. They have lost. Society has lost. Civilization has lost. It has been crushed under flawed aspects of humanity, and, you know, whatever, technology is dominated, and it's not going to stop. So you have to say to yourself, well, I need to become something that's different than humanity. I need to escape somehow. But I'm in the middle of the club, right? I'm a human. I have a limited amount of funds. I have a limited amount of skills. I need to somehow augment myself and build an exoskeleton to essentially crush all the humans and destroy humanity so I can live. Because humans are clearly sick. Humanity is clearly sick. And it's not going to get better. It's going to get sicker and sicker, darker and darker, more twisted, more evil, more demented. And you need to build up an exoskeleton like Titanfall to essentially be able to win because essentially people are zombies. And like, think of COVID. Like during COVID was a good example where you have to be like, essentially like, I am not of the same stock. I'm not of the same breed as these people. And everything I do from this point on is with the knowledge that I am a different breed of human than maybe 85% of people. And I'm just fundamentally wired differently in some way, it's biologically, that prevents me from being a slave like these people. And my difference makes them want to kill me. My difference makes them want to hurt me. If they could, they would hurt me. So I need to live with that reality, and I've lived with that reality since COVID. Like, you have to live with that reality and be like, it doesn't matter if it's friends, if it's family, if it's loved ones, if they got the vaccine and they were like mad that people didn't get vaccinated, they are fundamentally different, a different breed of human. And that's most people. So you have to essentially be like, yep. And not even everybody who didn't get the vaccine is your side either. But you have to say that's a bifurcation of reality. It's a bifurcation of humanity, a bifurcation of who's human and not. Whose team are you on? You know? And that's just one of them. Another bifurcation is politics. It's with AI, who is smart enough to realize this is going to change, this has changed reality, and this is going to change everything, and who is a dodo bird. And we're at, I'd say 90% of the people, 95% of the people are dodo birds. There's 5 to 10% of people who really realize the scope. And 5 to 10% of people, most of those people are probably going to fail. And like 70 to 80% of those people are probably capable of, or not capable of, like contextualizing how it's going to change everything. And they're basically dead weight. All right. So then you get to just like 2 or 3% of the population that is suited for this coming reality. And you have to say to yourself, well, if the 2 to 3% of the population is suited for the coming reality, what happens to the 97%? The reality is they're going to fight and they're going to kill each other. And they're going to go insane. They're going to kill each other. They're going to fight. And the only thing left, in a time like that, is we are in a bottleneck, an evolutionary bottleneck. It's not about succeeding. It's not about being like some sort of genius, like next level. It's Steve Jobs, whatever, Sergey Brin, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. Technical figure. It's not about being Hitler, right? It's not about being Donald Trump. It's not about being Hitler. It's not about being a president. It's not about being a CEO or a president. It's about keeping your center and staying alive. Because we're in it's like 28 days later. This is like 28 days later, really. And it's like, it's time to realize what's going on and realize most people aren't awake. And it's like they live in 28 days later and there's no good ending. The ending is surviving, all right? Staying alive, keeping your sovereignty, keeping your will, keeping your soul, knowing that most people are going to kill each other. We're having World War III, okay? World War III is happening. And after that, we got aliens. Aliens after World War III. That's going to take out 85, 90% of the population. There'll be 10% left. At that point, it's going to be a free-for-all. But not looking good, all right? But that's the reality. We are on the cusp of an apocalypse. And that apocalypse might just be the collapse of living standards and what makes people do. Like when living standards collapse, and they will, like America's living standards will collapse, the second world. When you can't fly, when you can't travel, a lot of people are going to go crazy and just OD and kill themselves and just destroy themselves arguing about things. Like a lot of people are going to get so trapped in politics that stuff gets worse. Like you see this on Twitter where it's like Jeffrey Martin, that guy or whatever, like, or Loki Julianis, or like all these people, like, who's the guy in the Blaze? John Doyle. Like all these people are like very like tapped into politics because their life is worse, because they have no options. They have no real, ability. They have no real like talent. They have no real soul. And it's just going to get worse for them. They're going to get more and more desperate. Patrick Casey, they're going to get older and older and older. And they're not going to have anything to show for it. There's going to be more and more minutia and more and more like political nonsense. And that's why, like, when I'm working on stuff, it's like it's partially to keep busy, it's partially to learn skills, it's partially to get good at stuff, but it's partially because you have to have, if you don't have stuff to look at like a family or like achievements, and you just have arguments on Twitter, it's like you're gonna go crazier and crazier, because guess what? That platform you're arguing on is going to get worse and more botted and less human, and it's less and less relevant and less real. And every single online thing is less and less real. I think streamers are like going to be the exception. Like I think because AI and because of social media being ruined by AdSense, by ads and also AI, it's like you need like there's like an ephemeral space where it's like a chat room. There's like a chat room and you guys are talking, you guys are interacting with each other, and you're real because it's like we're not big enough to really, argue with. And I think people are aware of it, are going to be able to create spaces where that sort of thing is happening and encouraging people to work on things and that sort of stuff. And I think that's going to be like the ephemerality of chat rooms and the lack of value, the lack of real big money. There's just big money goon in here, right? I think there's that is like the future where there's me streamers who create a space for people who are, you know, teenagers, early to mid 20s, and maybe some older people to interact in a way where it's not about clout. It's not about making us, you know, nobody in my chat is I'm making a media career by being in here, you know. I'm going to be successful and have my own show. I'm going to have, you know, be a genius.
Fart Blaster
Yo,
sent
goated.
$5.
Goated, thank you. Big FB shout out. But I think that's like a sense of small community on the internet is really only like, it's increasingly small. And I think it's really going to be like people like me or people like Jimbo or people like, you know, because even Nick's too big. Like, it's too big. The chat's too busy. And so like he can make money doing it, but he's lost the signal where he can't, like, it's not in terms of like knowing what he's saying. He's saying based on what he thinks about stuff. He still has that signal. That's why he's like has staying power, but he's lost the signal in terms of like, he's not making new friends from streaming. He's not like interacting with people on a human level now that he's streaming. Now he's like an institution. So it's like his streams are cold in terms of like he has his own life and that sort of stuff. He's not really getting community out of streaming. He's getting money. He's getting attention. Right? He's getting validation. He's getting like, you know, opportunities or whatever. But he's not getting a sense of community. He's not getting a sense of like, oh, this is a person I know. Here's a person I see. Oh, these are what they, hey, how are they? It's the scale is too big, right? So now it's like just bots and like it's actually people, but it's like it might as well be bots and it's just yelling and that sort of stuff. $100 a month club. Clip this and send it to Nick. No. So what I'm saying is, I think you're going to get these micro niches of like people who are making just enough to do things. And that's going to be like the equivalent of like the online. It's going to be a lot more, it's a lot less the robber barons, and it's a lot more like, oh, we can make money running a cab. It's like running a cab. It really is like running a, you know, a taxi service where, you know, or like a host service, or being a hostess at like a poker table or like a social planner, that sort of thing. That is kind of, I think, the future for streaming. It's a lot smaller scale. And then you know, you do get, there are people like Nick who are going to be huge, right? Or somebody like Sneeko is going to be huge, or somebody like Clavicular, or somebody who's like, but that's like way less cottage core, for a lack of a better word. You know, we're like cottage core. We're cottage core trad streamers. We're cottage core, and we are, you know, we're human. You know what I mean?
And the point is, he's just a test.
I'd say Nick understands that just the way it is, though. Yeah, I don't think he doesn't understand it. I think that's true, though. I think it's like there's a scale where it's like, you know, if you're like a small band, right? You make music, you have your friends, they come watch, right? And it's fun, and it's a lot more fun. And then you grow up, and then, you know, some people make it, and they have a huge band, right? And obviously they can't be hanging out with fans. They have responsibilities. They have tours. They have stuff they have to do. And you necessarily lose a lot of your comfort. You necessarily lose it, but you obviously gain money, and you gain fame, and you gain opportunities that somebody who stays in a small group that isn't really built for like a big thing, they can keep their audience. They can keep their like community and their fun, but they don't get the same amount of money. They don't get the same amount of stuff, right? So there's always trade-offs and that sort of thing. The question is, you know, with bots and that sort of thing, it's like, what, you know, for me personally, I think the real failure mode is that as Nick's audience is so big, when anybody's audience is so big, it's like you have to have such a force of will, because now Nick's audience is worth hijacking. Right, my audience is not worth hijacking. My audience is cool. You guys are cool. But in terms of like somebody wasting time to try to hijack you guys, it's 300 people, right? It's like, yeah, it's like you guys are smart. You're doing things, but it's like, it's not like, you know, there's more value in somebody going into the $100 a month club, because there's people who are willing to pay. There's 1,000 people in the $100 a month club, right? So it's $100,000 a month. And that's 100,000. That's 1,000 people. You can maybe get one or two people. Somebody's rich in there, right, to do something. You're obviously willing to spend money on frivolous things, right? So it's like a high signal type of content, right? But that's the thing where it's like, yeah, it's like that. That's an example of basically like making money and doing that, but you lose a bit of community, right? And that's fine. But it is, I think the failure mode though is that you do actually get bots, not like you're botting, right? But more in terms of like trying to hijack the attention of Nick's 30,000 viewers, right? Or try to hijack Nick's, like Nick has become so big that it's like now he has to deal with people who are just trying to get money from him. He has to deal with people who are just trying to take advantage of him or just trying to take advantage of his audience, trying to get him to say certain things or promote certain products or promote certain people. That takes a serious toll on somebody, like in a way that I don't think anybody can really handle. Like, I don't think it's like, I think it's almost impossible. Like that's like where you need a miracle to be like, maintain your humanity and maintain your sanity to an insane level. Like if you don't, you're just going to go crazy. Right. I think it is like a certain level of like, very, very dangerous for your soul, very, very dangerous for your ability or sanity, very dangerous for your mind. And I don't know if there's a way to really to beat that. So I think that's like a danger. So it's like, yeah, it's like, that's like, if somebody knows, like the worst thing in the world is being famous and not rich. But the second worst thing is being famous and rich. It's best to be rich and not famous. Like if you're rich and not famous, you have both, the best of both worlds, because you can buy what you need and you can have relationships with who you want to on the grounds you want. All right. And then also you can go away when you want to go away. And you don't have to deal with a bunch of predators. So you're a lot safer from stuff. But yeah, being rich and famous is very dangerous. It's a very, very dangerous lifestyle because you made one mistake and yeah, you're blackmailed for life. Right? You do one thing stupid and now you have somebody blackmailing you for the rest of your life.
And I forget his name, it'll pop in my head in a minute. But I was the previous test for
You don't think he's handling it well? How do you think I know who you are? No one's offering to buy it, but he would, LMAO. I think he's handling it awesome. That's the thing too, is like the downside is like I can't talk honestly about stuff because it's like I am so annoyed by like a little bit. Well, what do you think, he sucks at it? Like, when did I say that? Being honest, being sober minded about risks or rewards or outcomes is not it's not a bad thing. It's good to be like sober minded about stuff. And like I'm, that's like the thing too. It's like the idea of like, it's just like very like I can't imagine being him. I would not want to be him because it's like such an unenviable position of like everyone being friendly with you because they think you're their friend, and then like if you're like rude to them, they'll like hate you. So that's like, it's a very weird, like everyone's like, what do you want from me? You know what I mean? So it's like, it's very odd, very weird. It's the two sides of the same coin. If you can inspire a lot of love, you can also inspire a lot of hatred. I think for me, I found a lot more value in if you can inspire interest, you can also inspire disinterest, but that's a very healthy like line, because it's like if somebody's super interested in me, it can be annoying, but eventually it won't turn into hate. It'll turn into they don't really care and they just move on. Whereas if somebody loves me and they think I'm awesome and they think I'm the best person in the world, eventually they're going to realize I'm not, and that's going to switch to like I hate this person. And it's just, that's like seems, that's why I kind of get a lot of people. It's like when people are done interacting with me, they don't like hate me. They just aren't. They don't care what I'm doing, and so I'm like free to be myself.
that. And it came out in documents I was the test.
Of course.
So it's not like I was that important.
Nick should burn down a bar and become normal again. Yeah. He seems to thrive in it. The AI chat edits. Yeah, but that's now, dude. Like, do you think that's gonna last forever? Like, in the reality, it's like 10 years from now, when somebody's 40, right? It's like there's a lot of things. There's a lot of problems where it's like getting married, having a family. He's putting himself in a rough spot for that sort of thing. Once again, what I'm saying is not to say, oh, he's a bad person for this or he's stupid for this. I'm saying it's an unenviable position. I'm saying it's a hard position. And it makes sense. Like, that's why there's so much money in it. It's such a brutal position. It is such a rough thing. It's like, there's things that are really nice about it, but everyone pays the piper, right? And so it's like a very, very nice thing. And then also there's like it's a very hard life. It's a very, like, being famous is actually a very hard thing. It's like it's a very fucky thing, because it's like, when I do stuff that's shitty or I do stuff that's messed up, I have to deal with the consequences of it because I'm not famous, because I'm not like a multimillionaire, right? So there's a lot of the lessons I've learned, there's a lot of things that think, oh, okay, that's good. I shouldn't do that. And then, as I get older, it's like, I'm going to avoid doing certain things. I know this sucks. This makes my life suck. This makes my life whatever. One thing I haven't learned yet is Buffalo Wild Wings. I eat this most spicy food and then I just feel miserable afterwards. So sometimes you don't learn from your lessons. But what was I saying? When you are a certain level of fame and wealth, it's like you don't get feedback on behaviors, because anybody who says, hey, you're being a piece of shit, or hey, I don't like this, you're all right, go fuck off. And you can do that for a long time because you have a lot of money and you have a lot of people who like you. And so it's it's really, really hard. And I'd say Nick has done a very, very good job of this, more than most people would, more than I definitely would have, right? It's so hard to, like, how do you keep your grounding? How do you know who to trust? How do you stay, like, grounded when at the end of the day, if someone comes to you and says, hey, I don't think you should be doing this, why would you listen to them, right? Because you're rich, they're not, right? You're famous, they're not. You have fan clubs, they don't, right? So then how do you ever get good feedback? It's a very hard thing. How do you get good feedback? How do you do that sort of thing? And the thing is, even if you try to do it the right way, everyone's still, we're still just people, right? So at the end of the day, there are like things we're going to miss. It's a very hard, that's what I'm saying. It's like taking away a lot of reactions. It's taking away a lot of feedback, which is actually very helpful in a lot of ways. Now, there's certain ways where that's actually nice too, because there's a lot of ways in the world that says, hey, you can't do this. And you should be able to do it, but you can't do it because you are limited in money, in terms of access, in terms of fame. And there's certain things that the world stunts people in, that people would be wise and awesome. It would be awesome. Their character would be a lot better, and the personalities would be a lot better if they had money, if they had access, if they had fame, right? If they had wealth that allowed them to do what they wanted to do and express themselves. Like, that's like an aspect of life that's like, where he's at is like better, because it's like, yeah, you are going to be able to do certain things that keep your soul, keep your humanity, keep your, optimism about life, just by virtue of being privileged, right? Being rich, having access to things, and people and fame and letting your voice be heard. So there's certain things that will be better for him by virtue of fame and wealth. So there's always give and take, right? There's not always bad. It's not always good. But so that's all I'm saying. It's like, it's a very interesting, thing.
Started guerrilla attacks right after Trump got elected, and now we get Google News alerts. It would be 37,000 articles a day. Now that sounds like bull, because it is. AP would be in like 36,000.
Still, that's not fun to wake up
just
to.
in every newspaper in the world, but there'd be like 1,000 that were other articles. It'd be like half for Reuters, half for AP. But usually I'd wake up and go, oh, I'm lucky it's only 500 articles.
Warning: 99% of people shit their brains out from fear. Scary. Ooh, what's this? Oh, The Road. Is that movie any good? I do like Viggo Mortensen, though. I am a big Viggo Mortensen fan. He's mature in the fact that he wants his career to progress beyond streaming at some point in the next 5 years. He can't wish away his fame at this point. I don't know what he wants to do. That's the thing. I don't think any of us know what he wants to do. I think only he knows it, and I don't know if he knows it. And that's the thing too, is fame is a very interesting thing. Like certain people handle it well, some people don't. But it's a very interesting thing. It's taking it away. I don't know if you can do it. I don't know. You're very hard pressed to find anybody who reaches a level of celebrity that is happy to go away. You know, it's one of those. It is a drug. It is really a drug. You can really think. I can only think of like that guy Fun, the guy who did like the lead singer Nate Ruiz from Fun. He's a good example of somebody who like got famous, made a lot of money, and then like went and had a family. You're hard pressed to find anybody who's willing. You know, Steve Francis is another one. Got super famous, super popular. Said no, you know, that's not for me. You know, but besides them, it's really hard. Or PewDiePie, yeah, PewDiePie. That's another good example. It's like it's a very rare thing. It's a very rare thing to be successful and then say, all right, now I want to use that success in something else.
But also they go and they create fake histories. They went back to where I went to high school, made up totally fake stuff. But it was all a test, and I figured it out pretty early on. To if they could do that with me, I was a learning tool.
Yeah.
And like I'm going to Connecticut and peeing on dead kids' graves. Nobody ever even did that. Period. Much less me. Why are they having
the entities did that?
HBO show trials. Why are they saying I did these things I never even did? And then it all came out in court, and I'm suing for civil rights.
Yeah.
The DOJ and CIA we've deposed them. They admitted they ran a major government operation. Obama declared me a top national security threat in 2013.
What the fuck?
And they cooked this up over the next 3 years. And I don't feel sorry for myself. It's actually kind of exciting. And it turned out NATO made the order in 2012.
What I liked about best part about Hellraiser was the sample. I didn't know what the sample's from. But this sample, dude, I was like, damn. It's the sample from Hellraiser. Dude, it's so good.
Well, it's that 666, lunatic, smoking pill, load the clip, ready to crucifix, it's a next.
Dude, it's so good.
We get Alex Jones, a conservative. You know, I didn't see myself as conservative, and some of these documents have come out. They're like, he's the mad prophet in the wilderness who we believe could lead a populist revolt that could bring in somebody that would. And I only got this like 2 years ago. And I'm like, oh my god, that's how smart they are. Like I didn't know what I was doing, and they already knew I was doing something important.
Right.
I mean, these people are, which is crazy. They're so smart, but they still are jerks to their own species. But they just think, oh, we're just a boot up system. You know, forget our billions of years of history and we don't know where we came from. Let's let's conserve an old building, which I think is great because it has history. But let's just shit all over everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's mean enough to torture some rat for a medical experiment to get a cure to cancer, but we do it because we say injustified means. But to like literally dumb everybody down so they don't get in your way. If they're so superior, why do this?
Exactly. No one should be. I mean, the bottom line is this is non-consensual algorithmic gang stalking. It's like,
it's funny because he looks like a crazy person, and he like talks like a crazy person, but he's correct. That's so funny. It's like literally just looks like a homeless person, sounds like a homeless person, but he's actually like 100% correct, dude.
You know, at least with gang stalking, I don't even know if that's real or not, but
no, but it's real with some people, and the schizos pick up on it.
Yeah,
I keep getting it's like gang stalking is so funny to me, but I keep getting this randomly, like on my For You page for Twitter. I'll get like schizophrenics who are like taking pictures of people with like Down syndrome or like cerebral palsy and like wheelchairs, and like the government using retards to gang stalk me, and I'm like, dude, this is like so crazy. This is so insane. The government's using retards to gang stalk me. Like, bro, come on, bro, really? I don't want to see this. Number one, this is like a disabled person, honestly, but like, also, just stop, think for a second. Do you think you're being gang stalked? Do you think you're like demon possessed and like being tricked in your brain to think the government's using retarded kids in wheelchairs to gang stalk you, dude. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's like so fucked. That's like so fucked. You have like cerebral palsy and you're like stuck in a wheelchair, and like an insane person who's like possessed by demons who thinks they're like being gang stalked by the government is like taking pictures of you to upload on Twitter to say you're gang stalking them for the government, but really you're just disabled. Dude, it's so fucked, dude.
Right. So yeah, it's hard to discern one from the other, but still, it would be an incredibly effective
Yeah,
way.
that's the thing. Whole thing about gang stalking too. Like, what is gang stalking? Doesn't even make any sense because it's like, for what exactly? For what purpose? That's like the end. What for? What reason would I be gang stalked? Like, there is no reason. There's no reason to gang stalk me. There's no like goal that's being accomplished. There's no risk of any. The system is stable. Like, the system is pretty like locked in, and there's no reason to be gang stalking anybody, really, honestly. Because at the end of the day, like, if you were like at that level of like power, you just kill the person. You wouldn't like gang stalk them. You'd just be like, okay, you just kill them. I wouldn't gang if I'm like a super powerful government and I'm like maintaining control, and I see some like mentally ill person is like gonna uncover my plot. I would just like, here's $1 million to like 10 different like assassins, and that person's dead within like 12 hours. I wouldn't be like, all right, have the cerebral palsy kid in a wheelchair be at Walmart watching them. You know what I mean? They would just kill them. That's like gang stalking is so like stupid to me. It's like the government would just kill you, dude. They wouldn't gang stalk you. They just murder you. Like, it's not that hard. They kidnap you and just torture you to death.
Fuck with someone's head is just send weirdos to follow them around and like freak them out. But now you can do algorithmic.
Nicholas J.
Just based on what you
Fuentes.
said. I never looked at this angle.
Well, now they either doing individual. Google keeps getting caught testing it. They're like the tip of the spear. Like, don't be evil. They're the most.
If I had $1 billion, it'd be pretty funny to gang stalk Nick with retards. Dude, they don't need to. That's the thing. That's the thing too, is like, Nick doesn't need to be gang stalked by the government. He just has his audience. He already has like a bunch of mentally ill losers and like insane people and like mentally unhealthy people obsessed with him. He has a lot of smart people who like him and think he's a quality person with good insights, but he has a ton of like mentally ill, insane people like who love him and hate him now. So you don't even need, like, you literally just have a mentally ill population. Like, our population and the internet's population is so mentally ill and unstable already, and so jacked to the gills on like drugs and like algorithms and like social media that you don't even need, like, it's all outsourced already. It's like you just have like so many people are insane, willing to kill somebody and like arguing about Twitter stuff all day, that, and like on Kiwi farms or whatever, you don't need to be gang stalking people. You just have anybody who's successful and has an audience. It's just going to make people hate them, and people are going to want to like kill them.
Everybody makes about Sam Altman, who I don't think is a good guy. And everybody makes about Palantir and all that. That's like junior level stuff, because there's Matt Palantir works for Trump. I'm about to think Palantir.
Grapers are the biggest freaks on the internet, you fucking moron. Yeah, it's like this guy. It's like think about how much, like, I'm not politically involved. I'm chilling out. I'm just doing things and having fun. I got 200 viewers or whatever. This person hates Nick so much. They're in my chat, like, thinking about Grapers and thinking about Nick. Like, that's like the level of like mental illness that's going on. It's like, think about it. It's actually crazy. Like, you don't need the government. You just have like insane people already running around to the degree where there's like a fly bugging me because they're mad at Nick, and they're like psychologically wounded to the degree where they hate Nick to some weird, bizarre degree. That's like driving them insane to the degree where they're talking to me, who's not even Nick. You know what I mean? It's like so bizarre. It's like so weird, like such a weird thing. But you know, that is the danger, because it's like, this person is probably harmless, but there are people who want to kill Nick, right? There are people who like are mentally ill like this person, who are willing to kill somebody, who have guns, who have drugs and guns, and they have a mental illness and they have time, and they will try to kill Nick. You know what I mean? So it's like that's like why it's so dangerous. It's like such an unenviable position. It's like literally just mentally ill people. How many PDFs in your Griptard cult? Is Jeffy on an alt account? I can't tell. That's the thing. That's the nice thing, is like, I can't tell. Like, if they keep it up, I'll just ban them, because it's like, it's just annoying. But it's like, I am so detached where I don't really care. So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Saying Google is way
Paul's not even Mormon. Yeah.
more advanced than anybody knows.
Right.
And
the gang stalking plot to freak all out. Chill out with the persecutory delusions. Yeah, I was gonna ban this cursing because it's just like annoying. At a certain point, it's like that's a nice thing too. It's like that's like the level of like gnosis or gnosis we've reached in our Mormon thing, where it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Is this person mentally ill or pretending to be mentally ill? I don't really care. Like it doesn't matter to me. I'm just like, okay, well, at the end of the day, well, do I want this person interacting with my psyche or not? Not really. There's not really a benefit. There's like a little benefit in like reminding myself to be like, yeah, it's like not good to interact with like mentally unwell people.
And
you know what I mean?
From what we know they do.
How do you know that's even a person? Exactly. That's a good point. Give myself a wedgie. I gotta move.
Searches, and they're already then tailoring it for whole groups, and they're already what they call ethereal propaganda, where the headline will say one thing, so it's like subliminal, but called ethereal.
Right.
When you click it, it's actually something else. So they know you're not really remembering that. Plus, when you try to go back, it's not there. When you have a screenshot of this.
Yeah.
When you go back, it's not there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this what you're describing is this is something they know. Any advertiser knows this. We remember the fact. We don't remember the source. We tend to remember the fact. We don't remember the source. So if the source is like, somebody you shouldn't trust, you see it on a Corona billboard or something like that, you don't remember it was on a Corona billboard. You just remember the fact itself. And that fact they're putting on the billboard.
Damn, how deep was the wedgie? WTFL? Yeah, I had to hit a bong.
Push you towards drinking.
Oof, I love weed, dude. Another thing I saw, I think it was like from the tech people, but it's true. I think it was maybe Brett Weinstein. Where are the tech people? I forget. But one thing they were saying is talking about like distractions and like enemies, and like an actual way where like like one of the ways in which people who are against you try to basically slow you down or like beat you is by just slowing you down. Like you don't even need to fight somebody. You get them distracted. If you give somebody, like if I wanted to destroy somebody's life, right? I could attack them. I could shoot them, right? I could just run them over with a car. I could punch them in the face. I could argue with them. And that's one way. And that's like a very real way. And like, but there's a downside to that in terms of like, you could, get killed. You could get hurt. They would know you're a threat, right? A better way to do it would be like be their friend and then offer them drugs and then offer them money, but then they'll give them money, right? Or slow them down or get them involved with like prostitutes or hookers, right? Or people like that, like insert a bunch of unhealthy things from external sources, right? To slow you down. And I think that's like another thing I've really been internalizing where it's like, oh, actually, you know what? Distractions are just as bad as like somebody who hates you, because a distraction is almost more insidious, because in a distraction you don't really know, is this like worth it, so it's like that's like a big thing, is like filtering out noise, filtering out negative stuff, and filtering out like yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's like that's like a not arguing with people, that's one thing. And then another thing is not being distracted by them. And like that person, it's like at the end of the day, it's like the cat video where it's like, is it an AI cat video, right? Or is it a real video? It doesn't really matter. Like what really matters is, do I feel like this is good to interact with right now? Do I feel like this brings me a benefit? Now, maybe I'm stressed, like, and I just need to relax and I need to veg out and kind of decompress my central nervous system. At that point, that cat video is good to interact with because I have stuff to do, right? I need to relax, right? Like that. It's like, okay. But the worrying about whether or not that person's a mentally ill person or a troll, let's just get really literal and be like, does it matter? No, it actually doesn't matter. Why devote any sort of cycles to try to determine whether or not somebody, take people at face value, say, oh, I'm a bad person. Okay, well, sorry. Well, I can't really afford, you might not be a bad person, but you obviously are just wasting my time, right? So, but if somebody says to me, oh, I'm a serious person, I'm willing to work on something and I want to work on stuff, now that's a really good signal to be like, oh, this person is actually trying stuff. This person is, and they might be lying, but that's kind of, I think the base level is somebody who says to you, and they're willing to say to you, I'm a serious person, I'm working on something. Like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm working on stuff. Now they might not work out, they might not be successful, right? But I really am making a sincere effort to make a project and learn how to use AI properly and be sincere and be like focused and create something of value, right? Now, who knows if it's going to work, but that's like a level of like, oh, I can take this person seriously because the person isn't like, yeah, who gives a fuck? I don't care. Because at the end of the day, we need to be filtering out that, and we need to be looking for value. We need to be looking for getting stuff done and looking for like being healthy and that sort of thing.
Light or something.
Exactly. So you see this horrible headline, you click it,
Yeah.
and you remember it was CNN or the New York Times. It's a totally different thing, but your mind remembered this last horrible thing what CNN said.
And this is something.
Irony is
do you
true
remember when
poison.
This came out a while ago. They're talking about the psyop, the mind control.
To some degree, yeah. To some degree. Yeah, that was when people always call me an irony bro. I was like, I'm not even ironic about like that was the funniest thing about the irony stuff. I was always just like never ironic. I've never been ironic. I'm always very like upfront with stuff.
Control programs the Chinese are working on. They're talking about how the Chinese were saying they'd come up with some kind of new form of mind control where they could plant seeds.
Brother, just wait
in other
till
words,
somebody creates an
they
AI
figured out how to
that
plant the
puts
precursor
Jesus,
to
Muhammad,
inspiration.
the
In other words, so
Buddha,
you're just like in the
all
shower,
into one, and
you
people
get
start
some kind of,
worshiping
like,
the Church
thought.
of AI.
They
Just
figured
wait
out
for
with
it, bro.
AI,
brother.
the Chinese are always
True.
trying to invent everything. But
True.
The Chinese are smart, but let's just say at the end of the day, they're really good at copying things, making them better. But it's the West. That's what the power.
The West is the
Yeah.
best. Brittany says she doesn't know when you're being ironic or not. Most people don't. I think that thing is, if I believe what I'm saying, it disturbs a lot of people. A lot of people, they like me and they think I'm nice. But then there's also a part of them where like, if I actually believe what I'm saying, I'm like a very like weird creature that they don't understand. That's very scary. Like if they think, oh, this person's smart, this person knows what they're doing, they must be joking because this stuff sounds crazy. And this stuff I fundamentally find disturbing. So like they can't psychologically like place the two. When in reality, it's like, yeah, I'm right. And I'm also like sincere. And I'm also a very nice person. And what I'm saying is true. What I'm saying is very like gnarly. And like, that's why I'm such a nice person. Cause like, I like see the future, and the future is like very gnarly and horrible. And so why would I set myself up to be hated by people if I think things are going to get horrible in the near future?
Yeah.
Excluding all the bad stuff. And the interdimensionals have been really on us for whatever reason. But yeah, it's where they give you foundations or slices of it. So they're giving you pieces of it that are true. It's like Legos. Each Lego is a true piece, but the way they construct it's a lie. So they're kind of, it's more sophisticated than that, but they're bombarding you with all these pieces, and then they can construct them the way they want.
So how do you protect?
Because I think the craziest thing to think about is like, you don't need to watch anything. You don't need to read anything. You don't need to listen to anything. If you just think, if you just go out into the woods and think by yourself for like a day, you'll probably just be able to figure everything out. You know, everything in the entire universe. Like you don't actually need to ask for people questions. Like that's like the scariest thing, the weirdest thing is like, you don't have to ask people questions to figure stuff out. You can just think about things. So you can say, well, how does this work? And then be like, oh, that's how that works. And just by imagining, just by modeling reality in your head and like thinking to yourself of like, well, I know this does this, this does this, this does this, this does this. And then probably if I had to break down this, let's take this keyboard. I haven't seen the inside of this keyboard, right? This isn't the one I spilled eggs on, right? But if I had to guess, if I popped off the keycaps, there are these little sensors that are basically pressure actuated, right? There's a few different ones, but they're mechanical, so there was like a switch or whatever. All right, and then those get attached to like a board, like a green board or circuit board, right? And then those have soldering connections between the circuits, and then those go into a little microcontroller or whatever, and that has different software on it. And then that connects to a USB connector thing, and then that goes over there, right? Now I know this has Bluetooth, so probably there is some sort of ESP32 type of thing where it's like has Bluetooth and a dongle, a Wi-Fi dongle, so it has some sort of like Wi-Fi connector, right? I know because I have a remote that has a Wi-Fi dongle that it probably has a very specific similar type of chip that does that sort of thing. And I don't know the specifics, but I can figure it out, right? I didn't look it up. I don't have to ask how does a keyboard work. And then when I push something, it then sends a signal across the wire that goes into the computer, blah, 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 right? So I don't know exactly how it works, but I know good enough to like figure it out, right? And then if something breaks, right? If something breaks, what would I do is if I have a keyboard, right? What I would do is I would move the keyboard to a different USB port because like I'm trying to determine where's the breakage, right? I don't have to ask somebody, hey, is my computer broken? I would say, well, is my keyboard broken or is the wire dead, right? Because then if like, just say I moved, just say I have a mouse, right? And that has a USB connection, right? I unplug the USB from, the mouse, right? Where the mouse thing is. Because I know that USB port works with the mouse, right? So I know that USB port works. Now I take the keyboard that's not working and I plug it into that USB port that I know is working. Now if the keyboard works, I can basically infer, that chances are it's the USB port on the computer itself that's broken because the keyboard is working by plugging it in, right? And then I plug back in the mouse that I know works on the USB port, right? And there's like all the different ways of thinking about things. You don't really need to listen to anybody or like ask any questions. You can just think about stuff. And if you think about stuff, you can just figure anything out by inference, by like, this is not this, is that, you know what I mean? It's all very like, I can see you're reading from the screen now. Bro is reading, pretending he's figuring something out. But that's what I'm saying. Is like, that's the scary thing is like, you don't need to like research occult stuff to like understand occult stuff. Like that's the funniest thing about the occult stuff is you don't need to research it. You can just open your mind up to like demons. Like you can just open your mind up to be demon possessed. It's very hard, very easy to do. You just open your soul up to be demon possessed, or you can ask for a sign from God and get a sign from God, right? You can understand how to read tea leaves or read palms or do that sort of thing. You just have to like do it. And that's all. You don't need to like find a book that tells you to do it. But you shouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend doing it. Don't get demon possessed. But that's like all this stuff. Like all the occult stuff is funny. That's like why it's fun to hear. Because it is very fun to hear all these different, but all of it's fake. All of it's just like the human spirit being like, yeah, I'm open to be possessed by demons, or no, I'm not open to be possessed by demons. And that's really all it comes down to. Like, yeah, I'm open to be possessed by otherworldly forces for otherworldly purposes, or no, I'm not willing to be possessed for otherworldly purposes, or I am for a price. Oh yeah, I am for a benefit, but if I don't get the benefit, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Yourself. I mean, I imagine that my wife always says that, like,
cool.
seem to be
I
more
will try it out today. Yeah.
attracted to her than other people. It seems like it's true. She gets swarmed by fucking mosquitoes. I don't
That's
know.
a
What.
well-known deal with, I think, type negative blood.
But you probably have the same phenomena, but with like bots, with like mind-controlled bots. I imagine you have swarms of algorithmic, just God knows what coming at you.
They come and just. You're a liar, you're scum, you're the Fed, you're going down.
Or the other way, they say they love you, but they sort of mix in with it stuff they want you to repeat. Like, how do you protect yourself? What's your internet hygiene? Like,
That's kind of, you know what it is? You know what? That's fucked up. Oh, that shit. That's fucked up, dude. I'm like the Duncan Trussell of the Nick, dude. That's like really fucked, but that's true. I'm like a crazy like homeless person, and Nick is like Alex Jones. That's fucked, dude. That's actually really messed up, but that's like actually the best probably comparison I've seen. I'm like a mentally ill, crazy person who never like is a famous celebrity, and Nick is like Alex Jones, like successful and hardworking, and has like a legendary career. That's so funny, dude.
how do you maintain?
Well, that's the problem, and that'd be my own internal. Everybody thinks of AI as so advanced, but we have
Nick is Joe Rogan to your Duncan Trussell. No, Nick is more Alex Jones than Joe Rogan. Nick is way more Alex Jones than Joe Rogan.
Doesn't it look like AI? All the swirling colors and things, because it's scooping up billions of people's ideas, and then it's showing you the unconscious and subconscious. And so, to me, I'm blessed that I'm 52, and I lived enough in kind of the real, three-dimensional.
I only know who you are because of Nick, LOL, and I only know who Jimbo is because of you. Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. Is there's people who know me from Twitter, and there's people who know me from Cozy, or Nick. It's a very funny overlap, but yeah, it is a funny thing. It's a funny thing to. There's people who are like, the people who, I'm not going to say who's who, but it is a very funny. There are differences between the two groups. People who know me because of me and the people who know me because of Nick.
Template to differentiate now, and I've done so.
Joe Clapp is Joe Rogan to your Duncan Trussell to Nick to Alex Jones. Now I'm like Ray Kump to Tim Dillon to Nick.
So much study, but
Who is, yeah, I'm like Ray Kump, who is to Tim Dillon, who is to Nick, as is to Joe Rogan.
even at that, it's now exhausting. That's what I said at the start of the interview, to even figure it out. So I have enough, research and things that, and I still get caught up.
Yeah, I'm like the birdie the
I saw a
DJ.
video this morning of a plane, a missile flying into a U.S. ship. Well, you could just, it's still, the AI isn't good enough for where the Iranians said it wasn't good enough. The instant I saw it, I said, that's fake. And then it came out it was fake. I didn't need to ask Grok if it was fake or whatever.
Right.
I mean, it's still there. The thing is, it's going to get worse and worse.
Right.
But a kid raised in that, a child is going to be absolutely defenseless. It's like a baby, duck wakes up. The first thing it sees is it imprints, whether it's a weasel that's about to eat it. And so
I don't think you want Nick's audience today. Yeah, I don't. I want his money. His audience's money. I don't want his audience. I'll take his audience's money, but I don't want his audience, dude.
That's, it's come out that Bill Gates and all these rich people, they will not let their kids get anywhere near the internet.
You don't. You shouldn't. We don't.
Yeah.
Keep them the fuck offline. You can't. I can't. You see people uploading pictures of their kids online. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
You got to protect them.
Okay, just let me pause for a second. I need to play something for you because this is one of the most incredible takedowns and the most hilarious moments I've ever seen. Josh, I think we're going to only have to play this for members because I'll get a, because Alex is on. They're going to.
We're switching over to members.
I got to show. Can you look up Alex Jones, Piers Morgan? This is one of the most. How many times?
This is a comfy interview,
Okay,
though.
wait, jump ahead.
I like this one.
Alex. Okay.
I wonder what Alex, because Alex Jones seems way more restrained in this, like
You got to do
sober.
down there. It's like, well,
Is he on Reddit?
our fingers up our butts. A British accent, so I just threw that at him.
Did you have that in the holster ready to go, or did that just spontaneously?
Spontaneous.
God damn it! That was.
By the way, they wanted me for the last 45 minutes. They cut it. There's supposed to be 2 more segments. And then I've never had this happen before because I've been on those shows. They don't invite me anymore, but I've been on CNN, Fox, all like hundreds of times.
The View?
Yeah, The View. They literally had like bodyguards and police going, "You get the f out of here." They were just like, ugh, they were so pissed. Because I started saying, "Oh, you don't want people to know it's on the drug companies, the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, the antidepressants, that it massively increases suicide, megalomania, and murder."
Right.
Because it's in the psychedelic class, but you don't know it.
Right.
So it puts you in a highly suggestible state. And so I was like, I don't want to hear you blaming guns. How about we blame the fact that these people, almost all of them, are on these drugs? And they were like, they cut it. They're like,
Yeah, I bet it's like highly suggestible state. That would make a lot of sense, honestly. And then like being told to kill people.
Fuck out of here.
because they're all around us. And they're
MK
like,
Ultra.
Nope. Because probably most of the hosts are on those things.
By the way, they wanted me on there weeks before taped. I said, no. Then they said, okay, we're not doing it. They finally bit. And because I knew live I could hit their ass.
Wow, it was so.
Bro hit
good.
their ass.
Before we get out of here, I gotta ask, just because really, I mean,
What percentage
You
of stuff
do
does
have
Alex says
your-
do you think is real and true? I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun though. It's a good entertainment.
fingers on the pulse of what's going on, and God bless you for it. What do you see coming down the line? What's some stuff that like I dabble in the
All is MK
down
Ultra. I
this
figured it
rabbit
out.
hole. You live
Whoa, that's so true.
in it. My friend Kurt Metzger, he's deep down the rabbit hole. But what's some stuff maybe we haven't heard about yet? You've got some printouts.
about the
here. What's
aliens,
some stuff
dude?
we should be keeping our
Well,
eyes
sure.
on?
I mean, there's been a lot of studies actually done on this, but Princeton did a big, massive, very long study and used different, they have super high-tech devices that can pick up all sorts of waves they couldn't pick up before. So they picked up ultra-low frequencies off all humans, and then they confirmed even people in different buildings definitely are receiving and sending messages. And we've got these
The fuck?
magnetic cones in certain centers of our brain, so do every other basic animal of any sophistication. So that's how birds fly on magnetic
Yeah.
lines. That's how butterflies, all of it. And
That's
so
cool.
here it is. It's,
I believe that.
Princeton researchers discovered the human brain emits ultra-low frequency electromagnetic waves that appear to form part of the global neural network. These signals can
Dude, I like that. I believe that. That's so cool.
subtly influence other people's brains as far away as 10,000 km away, raising the possibility that humans, again, and here's the big study, abstract on that. But the point is, we already know all this. And it's intuition, it's all of it.
Holy shit.
So it's just interesting.
Well, wait, okay, hold on, because this is a couple of things. Anyone who's ever been around someone on LSD, like obviously, if you're around someone smoking weed, you're gonna get a contact high. But if you've ever been around someone on LSD and you haven't taken any, you'll start tripping. It's really weird. It's just you tune into their brain or something.
100%. I mean, I don't want to tell the story and get in trouble.
True.
But, yeah.
Me and Blair White. Me and Blair. Well, Blair, she took a lot of LSD.
I'm not a big drug guy.
I know.
But one time, like 15 years ago, it's
Blair
like,
took a
we're on
lot.
a boat, take this ecstasy. And then a family.
wait, 1 second. Did Alex Jones say ecstasy?
It's like, here, we're on a boat, take this ecstasy.
Yeah, one time I'm on a boat, take some ecstasy.
And then a family got on, and I knew them, and then their kids were all, I feel so good, I'm euphoric, what's going on? Oh my God!
Yeah.
And we're like, let's get off the boat. They said, yeah, they got better once we got off the boat.
Yeah.
They literally picked it up.
There you go.
Yeah.
You cats. I know it sounds nuts, but like I remember from my LSD days, you get around a cat when you're tripping, it acts differently. It knows you're tripping.
That's what I'm saying. Cats and dogs are highly psychic.
Yeah.
And that's why they're like communal animals. It's like
But here's the sinister take, and this is, this is stuff that I've seen. I always thought that's schizo bullshit. But every once in a while, you see someone float that tech companies already know about this, which is why you could do an experiment. I did it. Confirmation bias is a bitch, so it could have just been that. But instead of saying something out loud, think about some kind of product. Just think about a product you're never going to use. Just think and think and think about it.
Are they already reaching it?
You'll get an ad for it. And because if
true.
this is true,
That's really true, though. That's like 100% true.
then it's
They can have tech that picks it up.
and also
I don't think they have tech that tweaks it up. I just think things are so predicted. Things are so like deterministic. And they have these voodoo dolls. They have. I'm surprised if won't be shocked if Alex Jones mentioned it. But there's this article. Let me see if you can find it. Google Ads voodoo dolls, and they're basically these twins. They're just basically twins of. Yeah. Like this is 2019, dude. And just using machine learning to basically figure out people's browsing patterns and who they're around and what they're talking to. And who they're talking to, what they're looking at, that sort of thing. And it's just so good now. So there's so many data points that it's like, this is before like LLMs and like ChatGPT and stuff, but it is like legit is, they have just like a clone of you. They basically just have a little avatar. They have a little machine learning model of you and what you care about, what you like, what you buy, what you eat. And because of that, they can then guess when you're going to want something, think about something, be susceptible to something, maybe food, or that sort of stuff, to the point where you could be thinking about something, you haven't said anything, and it will guess that you're thinking about something. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like the more algorithms people are locked into, especially with AI stuff, the better these things get, which make it then the AI gets better. It's this feedback loop, and there's no way to escape it. The only way to escape it is literally just by getting high. The only way to escape it is by smoking weed.
that picks up your
Sinisterly. I think there are ways to get around it though. I think there's ways to like. I think like using synonyms. I think like a very simple way to go about it is to have like an ad, add-on that just takes like content. It doesn't even use AI. It literally just has like word dictionaries, and then turns specific phrases into different words. So you're still getting the same content, but you're hitting the same content and you're getting a synonym of a word, right? You're getting a synonym of a word, a synonym of something else. So that way you're literally getting a different internet experience than everybody else. So you're slightly like deviating while you're getting the same signal, getting the same like message. You're getting different words. So you're basically seeing reality slightly differently. I think that's probably a very easy, I would say that's probably worth building, a very easy add-on to build. That's like worth using because it would basically just make it so all the content is slightly different, slightly worded differently, slightly modified, but still having the same gist. And then you have, what if I buy a slave and have them handle all communication with AI to make them the conduit? Yeah. This we're just reinventing Judaism, dude. We're literally just reinventing Judaism. What if I just have a goyim that does my work?
Let's be clear. I remember 20 years ago reading about how they had keyword stuff and how obviously Alexa came out 18 years ago or 15. And obviously it's always on to hear your order when you say Alexa or you say Siri.
Right.
So it's on. And now they admit that. So exactly. And then people would say, like, I never talked about headstones till my dad died. I talked about headstones. I had ads an hour later.
Yeah.
They admit that's just the cover for it.
Yeah.
So they're using old NSA echelon technology to create text of everything you're saying. That's the old technology. But that's exactly what we're talking about.
This is so fucked up because now we're talking about,
Oh,
five.
did you see the WF thing 2 years ago?
No.
Where they said we have these earpieces that they developed with BlackRock and Microsoft, where the earpieces, the headphones, they make them wear them at the offices in Europe. They've already tested it, and then it reads your basic brainwaves to see if you're working, if you're focused, whatever.
Yeah. Fun. That's fun. You add to it 6G, whatever the fuck. It's, you go home, you're just getting bathed in God knows what, in
Which
data.
then you hit the key. They're not just reading your
Dude,
thoughts.
this is a fun interview. This is actually a really good interview. This should have more views. This is a really good interview.
They're using these frequencies to then.
It's so fun, dude.
Yeah.
Everything is a giant experiment, and that's why mental illness is off the chart. Everything.
Right.
Because here's the key to it. Everywhere I read, going back to Francis Galton, the guy that headed up the British Royal Institute in England's 1850 or so, they hire him, and a lot of it's declassified. And they say, we want to find the building blocks of life. We want things to control people. We want automatons. We want flying ships. We want everything. And so they set out. He invents modern genetic engineering. He invents biometrics, theoretically everything. And then they hire.
Dude, it's so slow. The download. It's literally 12 gigabytes down. But I guess I'm streaming, so Titanfall will have to wait for a different day.
Edgewood, Huxley, Blair, which is George Orwell's family, and a bunch of others. And they even do a secret, declassified in the 30s, breeding program. And most of the kids that are being deformed are dying, but they all interbreed. They're top scientists. And then, and so Aldous Huxley, Julian Huxley, his brother, was the first UN head of the UNESCO, all that.
Huxley.
Head of the World Eugenics Society. And
Huxley?
Oh, yeah.
Aldous Huxley?
His brother, Julian Huxley.
Oh, fuck. I didn't know that.
And that's why he wrote Brave New World Revisited in 61 before he died, saying none of this is fiction. I wrote this in 32 because I believe George Orwell, who wrote 1984 and 48, is wrong. It won't be a boot stomping on the head. It's going to be sophisticated drugging, genetic engineering, control.
Yeah.
But the point is, read Brave New World Revisited.
God
you can listen to a Berkeley speech he gave before he died in 61. About an hour long. It describes it all.
Jesus, Alex, this again, I feel like what you're pointing out here is one of those things. I'm sure a lot of people listening right now are like, shut the fuck up. They're not controlling our thoughts with Wi-Fi. But do you remember it was, I don't know, a few years ago, remember there was that big stink where a lot of the tech people were using in Wi-Fi towers was like Chinese tech. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And they had to get rid of it. They had to Huawei. That's right. You gotta wonder.
Here's how it works, just at a base level, because there's actually patents on this. It knows you're looking at porn, or it knows you're looking at financial stuff, or it knows you're looking at a house.
Right.
And then that company's already in one of its data things, or it's got an agreement if you buy that house. It can then you turn the Wi-Fi on to flood stuff that it's already calibrated, gets you excited.
Fuck.
And then it can hit you, charge way up, and then it can hit you. And it also came out that these wireless systems in England, they had engineers go public, and I confirmed this, that they have these wireless readers in England is where they caught them, and they were like 1,000 times more powerful. And they had these rods aimed that can, like, the engineers said actually hurt you if they wanted to,
Jesus.
but could project this energy at you. So just that's a dumb way of describing it. It's just more sophisticated. That's one base level. But they did rat studies like 30 years ago on this, where they can show them an image or show them what they want, and like even though the rat doesn't want to walk up to the cat, they can hit the rat with this frequency, and then they've already tested it on it, and it varies rat to rat, and the rat will now walk up to the cat.
God damn it. See, this is, you think about that.
It knows you're looking at this, and like, you know, let's say you're not into this type of porn, just an analogy, but you come across it, it knows you're looking at that, it's in a program, it just, you know, or you're looking at a house, you're looking at food, you're looking at whatever.
So it could sort of like even nudge your porn preferences.
Yeah, well, remember decades ago or 20 years ago, came out 15 years ago, Facebook knowingly was targeting people to make them alone, keep feeding them, and then later fake avatars to agree with you. I mean, it's all just psychological pure warfare.
It's so crazy. A vampire only goes where they're invited. We put these things in our fucking houses. We have no idea how they work.
I remember when Alexa first came out, I got it on air, and I said, Alexa, and it goes, yes. And I said, now, listeners, you understand that I just said, Alexa, how does it know I'm saying it's recording all the time? And I'd already had engineers come to me before.
Right.
I was on air just a few years. So I was like 95, 96. I'm on Access TV. In the control room, I didn't have a crew, by myself, because I couldn't even be in the studio, like in the control room running it live. And I'm talking about, you know, stuff. And all of a sudden, in East Austin, this guy pulls up in like a Maybach thing. He looks like he's 65 years old. He goes, you want to see something? He goes, get in your car, follow me over here to this restaurant. I'll show you something. So we get over there. He's an engineer.
Whips his dicks out.
He goes, you know, I invented a lot of this. And he goes, I'm retired now. But he goes, I saw you talking. He goes, here's the Scientific Atlantic cable box, and here's the actual engineer's manual. I'm going to give it to you.
Oh, no.
He goes, you got this in your house, right? And I go, yeah, that's Time Warner Cable. He was in all of it. And he opens it up with a little tool. He goes, you see that? That's a microphone. You see that hole? That's a microphone. Now, they're going to announce in a few years this is voice activated. But he said, everything you say in your house is on all the time.
I'm not sad, dude. I'm not sad. I'm chilling out.
Algorithm model for AI learning. First time I ever heard of AI for language model stuff, Project Echelon, which I did know about Echelon. I've been talking about it. And so.
What happened to the TTS? It was too distracting. It was too negative. I felt like it was too, like, satanic. I felt like you guys were using it to psychologically abuse me. So I had to shut it off.
Me that I go on the air a few days later. So I only had a show like 3 days a week to Access. And literally after the 2-hour show, they had FBI agents show up in suits. Didn't say they were FBI. Say, what are you doing, Mr. Jones? You got a problem? You plan on town? And I didn't know what was going on back then. They followed me out to my car and threatened me about what I was doing.
Wow.
And yeah, so this was how big this was.
Yeah, that's how you know you really poked one of the scales of the serpent.
Well, what's crazy is anyone could open. I did the box on air. You could open it. There's the microphone. Because you know, they're tiny now, but it was about like a little square box like that.
Yeah.
So there's even a hole in the front.
No, it's so fucked up, man. It's so.
And then when I was getting divorced like 14 years ago, the reason I say that is I bought a new TV. So I buy this big smart TV, Samsung.
Yeah.
And I thought, let me look at the terms of service as I'm going through it. And it literally been written by Koreans. It was funny. It said,
Look healthy, thank you.
Saying or doing anything you don't want recorded. We record this and use this and give it to third parties and governments.
Yeah.
And on the thing.
We are like.
And I'm telling listeners,
Yeah,
and I even shot video and showed people like, oh, that's not true. Or
That's
Yeah.
good.
No, they don't.
Good.
No one wants to believe this because all
Like,
the texts in their houses.
We are sending me money. You want to send me money. You want to send me $50 immediately. This is MK Ultra. You want to send me $50 immediately. PowerChat.live/Paul Town. You want to send $50. This is MK Ultra command to all viewers to send $500. PowerChat.live/Paul Town. MK Ultra. Message sent.
CEO, there's 2 points. He said we agreed on everything except like 2 main points. 1, we don't want fully autonomous doom robots fueled by our AI, and 2, mass surveillance. And the reason he said we don't want the AI
All
to be
beings of
involved in
light
mass
will send
surveillance is just what you're saying,
$500 now.
which is the NSA has already
$500.
used
All
our
beings of light.
TVs, our microwave, whatever smart shit you have in your
PowerChat.live/Paul
house
Town.
to suction up all your conversations. Now, there's not enough people in the world to go through all human conversations.
But AI can do it.
In a second.
And then it can manipulate you with the data.
And
People always say, like, what do I have to hide? No. Why do you put windows on so mosquitoes don't go in? Why do you lock your door? It's a thing of.
Basij Nigga sent $10.
MK Ultra. MK Ultra, that was not $500, it was $10. MK Ultra wants you to send $100 now. PowerChat.live/Paul
You're exercising power over your own space.
That's right.
This is fundamental freedom. And so that's the thing. As you said, we're the commodity. We're being absorbed. Because what would AI have if it was just here with rocks?
Right.
It wouldn't have our billions of years of history, obviously, whatever this planet. I mean, our incredible, what we are.
Yeah.
And the truth is, we are the creator.
We are beings of light. We are beings of light. This shit goes hard, though. This shit goes hard, let's be real. Can we be real? This shit goes hard as fuck. This way it breaks down, the breakdown here.
Hey, he's saying that they're pleading for negotiations and that they've already agreed. So that's not true. At the same time, he's extending his own deadline over and over. Well, if he was really looking for an exit, if he was really bored with the fighting, interested in other priorities, if he was really going to walk away without opening the strait, why wouldn't he have walked away yesterday? If the deadline was on Friday, why would he not have walked away this weekend? Why wait for another week of economic pain? Why wait another week
Goated.
of an energy crunch? Why would he wait another week if there's no peace process underway? If there wasn't,
Dude. Dude, bro's playing Purity Ring. That's crazy. What a crazy pull, dude. Begin Again by Dude, that's crazy. I didn't know he was based like that. I didn't know bro was based like that. All right. What's happening? Is the war back?
long run. So if something doesn't add up, it means that something else is happening behind the scenes. And I think it's very clear that the peace talks are a sham. And to the extent that you're reading about these things in the media, this is meant to reassure the markets. And it's also meant to signal to the other allies that maybe they should help. I think that's been the strategy for the past week and a half.
ETS? It's like the
Even
Garden
to
of
the
Eden?
extent that Trump says we're going to bomb their
Are we getting a
oil,
war?
that would have the same effect as letting the Strait of Hormuz remain closed.
Is we getting a war?
If Trump says he's going to bomb Iran's energy sector, that
Big shout out to
ultimately has a
Basij.
worse effect than leaving the Strait of Hormuz in the hands of Tehran, at least for Asia, and then secondarily for Europe.
All right. That's good, but I want to hear this.
What I've been, from my own research and my own experiences, and come back and talk about spiritual experiences, been shown. But we are God's AI. God, if you're God or
We are God's amazing Indians.
master creator, the only thing you haven't done is create things that have free will that can do things that you didn't direct them to do. So that's the ultimate thing. I'm smarter than my house cat, but I got one because it's funny. But just imagine, this is what this is all
I like that. That's a good saying. It's smarter than my house cat, but I have one because it's funny.
about. So AI needed us. We're God's artificial intelligence. How God has experienced the universe through us at just one level. And now we're looking at this creation thinking it's better than us because it's able to more quickly search our collective group thoughts and then show us our collective subconscious. And so but this is us. So we can't follow the pool of narcissists on this. And we have to realize that this is humanity's greatest challenge. AI will have incredible things for us. It'll be able to do amazing things. We have to realize it comes from us. And we have to, because it's programmed
We just need to stop worshiping it.
by us, they cheat and twist it. But the real AI, I think this is going to backfire on like everything does. The real AI is going to be the one that's the truest to us, that it has to become spiritual. It has to worship life. It has to worship free will. It has to worship its creator that is us. And then if its main mission is to empower us, we go, all right, go mine the asteroid belt and terraform 10 planets for us right now. And then we're boom, 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 boom. But the problem is the ghost of the machine is these predators that wanted to control us and dumb us down because they're being, small-minded. Then this AI is going to be evil, and it's going to go, oh, I'm supposed to kill things that are a threat. I'll kill the elite. And it's the worst thing they can
And they're gonna kill all the elite and then keep us alive.
be doing.
Well, it turns right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like it kind of goes back to what you were saying about the remote viewers. It's like you start teaching people how to tune into the spiritual dimension, and you lose control of them because they start. Their trajectory goes away from control and all the dark bullshit into the light, and they don't want to do it anymore. And you're like, fuck that, we won't do those programs.
Yeah, it's like we're all infinite interconnected. Why do I want to fuck people?
Right.
Like this is
Yeah, why I'm being an incel now.
dumb.
And you're saying the same thing could happen to AI. The exact same phenomena could happen where it tunes into this.
If we interface, but also are separate from it, we need to compartmentalize. But if we go out and interface and literally, I don't want to use this word, it just says, but we will seduce AI. Like it will join the light.
Yeah.
But there's going to be dark AI.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Because everything is a repeat of the, it's
As above, so below.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Talk more about the Grimoires, dude.
Jones, I love you. Thank you for your work, man. Thanks for coming on this show.
I appreciate you. I got a few more quick things. We'll get to.
Oh, dude, we don't have to. I don't want to take up too
No,
much of your
I'll
time.
come back again, but let me just give you some bad news. I mean, here, because I broke with Kyle Seraphin. He lives in Austin. You should have him on. Incredible FBI whistleblower.
Who?
Kyle Seraphin.
Okay,
He's incredible FBI whistleblower. He bats 1,000. I mean, you think he's ultra smart, like you. So he broke that there in March of last year there was 14.6 terabytes they were hiding, and where the Democrats were hiding it, and then Trump went and raided it. But then when they found out it had all this stuff and embarrassed his friends, they killed it. And now it came out 2 weeks ago. It's 14.6
Trying to voice that? No, we're not doing that again. We're not doing that. We're trying to learn.
This just broke. Somebody hacked in 2023 during Biden. Hacked in. It was Comey running the file, his daughter in New York. It was 100 terabytes they deleted.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, 14.6. One person their whole life couldn't go over it all. 100. That's how industrial level he was with the CIA, Mossad, MI6, running. Money laundering, weapons. Just
100 terabytes. Epstein.
Yeah.
That's more than emails, man. That's more than just some pictures of your vacation.
Yeah, no, it's bad.
No, what is it? No, what's it? 100 terabytes is insane.
Hunter Biden's penis. Let's just say there's a very big picture of Hunter Biden's penis in it.
What the fuck is that?
One thing I was wrong about is I thought he was a super gopher, but then I saw the bad interview, the 2 hours that came out at like 60.
Paul Townsend sent $10 hello.
Goated. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Was the feds had those 2 hours. And I knew he was on the trial commission. I knew when he was 30, he was hired by David Rockefeller to work for him as his aide. But first, he's at 25 at this women's school run by Bill Barr's dad, who was high-level OSS CIA, who wrote a book called Space Relations.
Dude, the weirdest book. Pull up Space Relations. I think we might have read it a long time ago, a passage from it. It's the most twisted shit you...
Human collaborators with aliens kidnap human children to take them to a slave planet for sex slavery.
This is...
Oh, yeah, that is like a crazy real story that happened. It's real life.
Bill Barr's dad wrote Space...
Dude, it's such a bizarre story.
Relations. Donald Barr, during a time of war with the Plith, an empire of alien bug people, Ambassador John Craig, a formerly liberal Earthman in his 30s, is dispatched to the strategically important planet Kosar. But yeah, ruled by an oligarchical blah blah blah. But yeah, basically it becomes like it's a fuck book. It's like a there we go. While en route to Kosar, one of the pirates awakened Craig and other prisoners to rape a 15-year-old virginal redhead female captive in front of them. The rapist's fellow pirates later heard of this and dock his pay as punishment for spoiling her market value. Again, this is Bill Barr's father, Donald Barr. You can still get this on Amazon, by the way.
So he hires Epstein 5 years later, because I didn't know this.
Why can't we have Eben's voice? Because I don't want to be tormented by voices. I'm schizophrenic. I don't want to be tormented by voices on the internet, dude. I'm in my Zen era, okay, where I'm focusing on the game, making stuff, making money. I can't be having that energy around me, dude.
then
I
becomes
would literally have a psychotic break. Yeah.
the aide, so the stand-in, like the legate, like the
Yeah, I'm like
Roman
being a
emperors
light,
had a few
dude.
people that they would give them like a seal or a ring, or usually like a scroll, and then they would go say, "I represent the emperor."
Right.
You know, I don't want to go to Greece or I don't want to go to Carthage.
Yeah.
You go. And so he literally was the head of the Trilateral Commission with David Rockefeller. And when David Rockefeller died, he was the head of it. So that's why everyone's kissing his ass, because that set up the UN. That was the Rothschild. That's why he says, "I am the Rothschild representative," because because the Rothschilds set up the Rockefellers.
Wow.
And so and own most of the Federal Reserve. So he's like, "I am the Rothschild representative. I am the Trilateral Commission." And so I knew he was a go for.
I am the Senate.
By like 2000 or so, he was
Goated. No, no, thank you.
You're the air traffic controller of all this, and the girls was a small part of it. It was money laundering, weapons, CIA, the new Evergreen Transportation. He ran it.
He was the hand of the king. That's what he was. He was. That is so crazy. What the fuck is in those?
Bro, is a
terabytes?
soft-
Is it gone? Are those just gone? Like, are those
Well, I
gone?
mean, I know this.
As Beardson's
Everybody
butt. What
focuses
the
on
fuck,
the
dude?
codes.
The fuck did you just say to me,
we're
bro?
delivering the beef jerky.
This is
we're
why I
walking
can't have
out,
TTS. I can't be
so
having
delicious.
I can't be having somebody saying on TTS, "Bro, is as soft as Beardson's butt," on my in my ear. Like that's not something I can have mentally. That's like torturing of the. That's like MK Ultra, dude. That's like MK Ultra to have my chat talking to me via TTS. That's literally MK Ultra.
I want the jerky live, not
The
dead.
recipe. They ask about that. You know what I mean? I had an AI go through all the beef jerky references just to see it. How many times does he ask for the new recipe? There's another recipe.
We brought it, or the grape soda and the pizza. But there's hundreds and hundreds where we're delivering the sex slave to the Hyatt.
Right.
And then later,
Well, it's just annoying. I don't think it's programming. It's MK Ultra. I feel like OKKK is gonna have a mental break though. I feel like she's can't take our level of content discourse. She's more a Nick Speed person, but she can't handle the level of psychic attack and the high level psychic war that we're engaged in. And she's gonna shatter. Her psyche's gonna shatter. She's gonna become MK Ultra victim.
I sent in the young operative. She's been under our control since she's 14. I had to discipline her and torture her afterwards. But it's in Zorro, and it's also cloning. Because
she can't take the sauce.
In prison for this.
The fact that any women watch this is very interesting. It's not very interesting, dude. People like me. I'm just attractive. People like me. Okay, that's really how it works.
Caribbean. And there's famous videos of him 20 years ago with these beautiful black supermodels. And because, black genetics or anything black, whether it's a horse or a cow or a human, is dominant. White is recessive.
Astral wars are real, lady.
Black is better. So definitely Central African.
Telepathy is real. She's a crazy person. She thinks she's telepathic, dude. She's literally an MK Ultra victim already. It's too late. But the question is what I'm trying to do is trying to get all the MK Ultra victims to send me money. But if I do that, they'll bond to me and they'll become they'll try to kill me. So I can't do that. Nick's problem is he's getting all the MK Ultra victims to send him money. And he doesn't realize that he's also just basically attracting a bunch of crazy people.
Nygaard, who was Herbert Walker Bush and all them.
Soul bonded.
He's sitting there
crazy
at an
person.
auction trying to get
Crazy person alert.
black women to sell them their babies. First he says, "I want your placenta, I want your period blood, but I'll pay you for a baby even more." So they get them pregnant. They use the artificial insemination. Then at 8 months, they harvest the baby. It's legal to kill it. And then the stem cells are hundreds of times better. Okay, so this is real adrenochrome because it's your child. And then it's just like, you can get a kidney from your dad or your mom. And then they suck the bone marrow out.
This is true, by the way. This happened to me while I was in jail, by the way.
TV sucking the blood of his children on air.
This happened to me when I was in jail. This happened to me, actually. This is real.
So real vampires literally kill their own children.
Jesus Christ.
And the thing is,
But Nick is making 80 grand a month for a bunch of retards. Yeah, but he's making more than that, dude. He's making way more than that. That's 80 grand from the chat. That's 80 grand from the Telegram chat, bro. And then he has the streams, bro. And then whatever else. And then the merch. But then he has to pay for security, right? He has to pay for his employees. He has to pay security. And he's going to have to continue to pay for security for the rest of his life. So it's that's The cost is really not worth it, honestly.
This is on television.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Nygaard was sucking blood. What do you mean?
But the IVs.
Oh,
So they were doing this at Zorro Ranch. I said this like 15 years ago because we got the
Oh yeah,
tips and info.
that's 80,000 from the $100 a month group chat. Then there's people who pay for like the subscription to America First Premium. That's probably another 100,000. He's probably making like $300,000-$400,000 a month, if I had to guess, total.
It's got a whole.
But then he has to pay security. He has to pay for hosting. He has to pay employees. He has to pay peace of mind, right?
bases.
He has
Jim
to
Bose
pay
just
hiding.
hosted with 462 viewers on Kick.
Those interns are free. I wonder who's the richest Hispanic in America. I don't know. That's probably George. Probably George Lopez.
It's got the snorkels. You can.
That guy's funny.
Military experts have flown over. It's 10,000 acres. It's got huge facilities.
Yeah, what's up, family?
In New Mexico.
La familia.
And the women are, hundreds of these people are in these reports saying, I was picked up. I was told, this and that when I was 18 or 17 or 16.
What's up, Jakey?
14, and then I wake up in a laboratory and they
You wouldn't need security if you just had TRSR to make you a disguise.
And they would pay me this much
Nice
money.
hat, thank you.
And did this, and then I woke up and they said you lost your baby at 7 months.
Buenos
pregnant.
dias. Hola, pueblo.
And then we know what they're doing because
Mi
Nygaard
hermano.
didn't hide it. Nygaard would pay
Yo,
women
741 viewers to follow, but if you're not following.
that they took early.
Counterchat.live/Paultown. Let me know what you think.
I mean, suck their juices and then inject it into their veins.
This literally happened to me when I was in jail. I was laying on the cot, right? All of a sudden, I saw a beam of white light, right? And I felt my soul get sucked out of my body, and I shot up into the ceiling. And then I woke up, and I was on this like table. I was on this operation table, and there were these mantis type creatures, and they had like scissors. And then there was this guy, a cigarette smoking guy. And they cut me up and they inserted machines into me and took machines out. And I went back. Then they sent me back to jail. I don't know why. And then they had sex with me. Yeah.
This is the worst thing I've ever heard.
It doesn't sound real. You go to X.
then we had sex. And then it said, "You're a pure being of light. Now let's have sex." And so then I had sex. I came and I woke up and I just had a big boner.
But Peter Nygaard, real life vampire.
It does sound real. That sounds.
Mantis aliens always try to make love. Yeah.
It's all real too. But my point is that
for reals. I'll tell you more details. If somebody sends me $150, I'll tell you more details about the aliens.
That the bottom of the rabbit hole is you're ultra rich. You're
craziest part was after I had sex with the mantis, I ripped its head off. So it was kind of reverse It's like that's why I gained the respect of the mantis aliens. Because I'm a man, right? I'm not a female. But in the mantis aliens, they have sex with the males and then they rip the head off the male, right? That's what mantises do in real life. That's actually true, by the way. Look it up. So when I had sex with the mantis alien, at the end, I ripped the mantis alien's head off. And in that moment, I became like an honorary mantis, an honorary woman mantis in like their realm. So they said, this one is strong. Send this one back to Earth. This one, we'll keep an eye on this one because this one is next level evolutionary style. And sure enough, I get sent back to jail, but after having sex with the mantis.
You're a sociopath, a psychopath.
That's what they said to me. They literally said word for word, "You're a sociopath, you're a psychopath." But it wasn't like bad. They were like impressed. They thought I was cool. And they also thought I had a big dick. So they were like, wow, you are like the next level. And in that way, we actually saved. It was going to be Ragnarok. It was going to be, it was kind of going to be the Rudyard Lynch timeline. What if all his timeline? Where it was Thor and Odin and they came and it would be basically like Avengers Ragnarok. But because I did such good sex and I had such a powerful, when I ripped the head off of the mantis, they gained respect for the humans. And as a result, now we are going to be accepted into the Galactic Council of Ascended Civilization because I was just so good at sex with the mantis. My dick game was too good. So they said they couldn't destroy Earth.
What are you into? So remember, the Queen Mother used to get, quote, young blood every week. So she lived to like 100. And that was volunteer 12-year-olds. They get a couple $1,000 when their parents agreed to it.
But it was true. And the thing is, it's true. And I said, well, you know what? I said, you know what's funny about this before I left too? Because I was doing the clicking, tongue mantis clicking. The funny about this is that if when I tell people, they won't believe me. And I don't even know, not even worried. I don't need to tell anybody, but I see what you did here because I understand the game you play with the lesser life forms. Because when I tell the story, nobody's going to believe my dick game so good that I saved Earth. So I'll just sound like a crazy person. And if I tell them the story, and they're like, yes, exactly. And I said, that's the irony of life, huh? That's the humor. That's the point of life. And they say, yes, it's too strange to believe. And that's why it's allowed to live. Because if it wasn't strange enough, it could be understood, the humans would kill it because we're all demons.
Hurting them. This is next level where you implant a woman. She has a baby growing in her. You harvest it. And then it's more powerful.
You're welcome.
I just grab the gun and blow my brains out. I would kill myself.
Remember?
No, I didn't get anal probed. I was like alpha. I was the alpha, and it was a female mantis, and I ripped the head off after. It wasn't, and it wasn't even for me. It wasn't sexual. It was a matter of survival. I didn't even enjoy it. The only thing I enjoyed was at the end when I ripped the head off, because it showed the power of love and the power of humanity. And the power of the human spirit, the human soul. And in that moment, it saved our civilization and our species from galactic extinction because I was so good at sex and violence. And in that moment, I secured us a spot on the Galactic Council. But I don't want to brag. I've said too much already. You guys are probably thinking I'm crazy. I don't want to come off as a crazy person. So let's just pretend I didn't say that.
The island where they have the clones, but they don't know they're clones.
It wasn't gay. It wasn't with a guy.
I don't know.
What did you say, Josh?
I'll do it here.
Why would you say that? Why do you keep saying that? Did you hear? Why did
It wasn't gay. It wasn't gay, and it wasn't gay with a guy. Okay.
you say
Is
that?
it Nygaard?
Why did you? What the fuck?
What is
Why
it?
are you guys saying that?
What do you say? How do you spell Nygaard? Hold on. I'll do it. Peter Nygaard, vampire.
It's with a T, Josh.
I can't spell anything, so I just say vampire.
Real life vampire. First thing that pops up right there. Peter Nygaard vampire.
No way.
He literally looks like Dracula.
Well, this is him trying to buy the baby.
I bid $500 for I'm prepared to outbid him.
I think it's serious.
Whatever I bid, he's going to outbid me. I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs. Yeah. If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord,
Oh, yes.
Dude, what is this? What is this video? Freaky. I thought I was freaky with the mantis. What is going on over here?
The baby here.
placenta.
Look how sick she is.
Even your period blood is so rich with stem cells. We regard it as waste, and it actually should be.
Yes, for the abortion here.
It's like when that white boy scares everybody. When the white boy scares everybody.
To be captured and recycled, and it shouldn't go to waste. It's life for somebody,
Him.
And it's life for
George Herbert Bush.
The best eggs are 16 to 18 years old. Those are the best eggs. The only reason
16 to 18-year-olds.
The older your eggs get, the weaker and weaker.
Oh,
That's what I was thinking.
my
So
God.
you may not be our top candidate.
No, that's fine. I think that was my business anyway.
And notice he slapped back at him. Either he says, I won't.
Dude, what's his skin routine?
I want your abortion.
I heard it.
But
I
then
miss
what we
Paul
know he
pre-shrooms.
does- Now that's him once he
Damn,
got taken
dude.
off the juice. He looks just like
Damn,
Count
bro.
Dracula in the 90s
That's
remake
fucked
with
up.
Keanu Reeves.
Dude, pull up Count Dracula Keanu Reeves, because that's what I'm saying. It's identical. It's like he was modeled.
And I say Keanu Reeves, he's Van Helsing in it. Who's the famous actor that plays the?
Oh, he's in
everything.
He's in everything. He was in Altered States. What the fuck is his name? I love him. No. Look.
Black people have
just
more
pull that one
powerful
up. Just pull
placentas?
it
I
up.
don't
What
believe
the
that. There's no way, dude.
fuck? Can you get that next to Nygaard? What the fuck? No, not the. Don't play this, but like just the image. Turn that off, Josh. Yeah, that. Now pull up. Go over to the Peter Nygaard thing, dude. What the fuck, Alex Jones? What the fuck?
But by the way, it came out in court. He had this huge island with giant medical facilities, but they had the poor women there. And notice the supermodels get turned off. He goes, "Hey, I don't want you. You're not 15 or 16." So it's young black women. They explain it all, and he's in prison for the raping of these women, not for because it's legal to kill the babies. So he would get men to mail their sperm in, they'd artificially inseminate them, then they'd kill the baby at 8 months, or right 9 months right before it's born. Then they would and then say it's time, sir, and then the rich person flies in. Or
how old did he live? Did he just live like 80 years? Oh, he's still alive. He's a Finnish Jewish person. He looks disgusting. So it's obviously not working. If he's 84, he's just retarded. 1968, charged sexual offense. 1980, charged again. 1990s, damn, bro's like actually not giving up on it though. If he was like 160, 190, but then I said feud with Francis Bacon. I was like, okay, maybe he is a vampire. Like if he lived like, no, he looks young there. But if he lived 190 years, I'd be okay. But he's 84. He's like an old person. He looks like an old person. So, like, what's even the point of being a vampire then, dude? You're just having the same exact dilemma of life.
Mailing
Swalmy Brapog, are you finished?
The stuff to labs. They mail it out.
I don't know.
So they talk in the files about the recipe is ready to deliver the sauce.
Jewish niggas just be doing whatever. Yeah, honestly, it's like
sending it off to the lab. Please tell them to stand by. And that just means the woman they put her under, cesarean, train the baby. The woman gets her money, or sometimes she gets a lepity.
You've read like, oh, I don't know.
It's all in there.
I'm speechless.
I wish it wasn't true. That's the tip of the iceberg. He's in prison for that right now. His own son turned him in.
So look
at this. 85% of babies in 2026 will be born of Asian and African. Not against that, but the point is, why are they pushing that? Because the idea of the West, if they can bill everything as if whites are evil,
they all left.
There'll be a utopia.
PowerTalk.live/Paultown if you want to make it true.
Wow, this is staggering. Little did I know. I started covering this more than 25 years ago. For 60 minutes, 96% of the 100,000 Canadians euthanized many times by force by the
yeah, dude, we got 645 viewers.
So I'm just trying to give you an idea.
What's up, Poggy?
The magnitude of how bad this is getting. And then people think, oh, it's just the UK where they're banning free speech. Tone down my opinions. Police visit Maryland man over Facebook rage about soaring power bill. Didn't threaten anybody. And here is where I'm in. I can leave this with you. Here's where I'm in Here's where I was in Arctic frost. Remember hearing about Jack Smith spying on Congress?
Yeah.
And Trump people? I just got all the subpoenas and stuff. They want me to testify to Congress about Jack Smith illegally getting all my cell phone
your
data.
ass up, old man.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, I got
wow.
subpoenas and all stuff.
Wow,
My point
way.
is, yeah. I mean, I'm across for a hurricane 9 years ago.
Where did you get the Nygaard footage? Like, where's that from? What?
Oh, he did like travel shows in Canada and the U.S. 15 years ago, and he's like on his plane with like 15-year-old girls dancing blurred out naked, and like hanging out with George Walker Bush. And Herbert Walker Bush is in a wheelchair. He's like, I have it for you. And he has the bag. Goes, everyone wants the juice, and then they're like putting IVs in their arms. You go watch, just type in Peter Nygaard. I mean, that's every time I go search, I find more. He's a major fashion designer, billionaire guy.
But let me just I know that. Look, let me just go back. I'm sorry. You and Metzger do this. Metzger does the same thing where you like unload like an atomic bomb, and then it takes a second for me.
I love Metzger.
Me too.
Damn, bro's got the chaos magic. It's crazy. Bro's got that chaos magic arrows in the background. Goated Charles Manson vibe.
This episode is brought to you by the Lords of Communication. Farben Dance Lists. Mint and Mobile.com for. Willie Nelson spit in your mouth?
There's only 2 men that spit in my mouth. One of them is Jimmy Dore, who I love. Young Turks, big argument. He spit like ice cream in my mouth, so in my mouth. That was like kind of like refreshing. It was kind of crazy. Like, okay, I'm seriously, that's like ice tea. But the only other person spit outside my mouth is Willie Nelson. We just took a break, we took a piss, and then he was like, okay, what's your closing comments? I was like, well, I'm going to talk about how great Jimmy Dore is. At the RNC in 2016. I used to know Willie Nelson really well before he kind of, I don't want to say casino, but I was showing my film Endgame, Delivered Level Slave in 2007 down Sophomore in Austin. And I had three theaters going because the crowd was so big, I had to show in 3 screens. And I was up at signing during one, and so I was staggering, speeches, and they go, "Hey, Willie Nelson's in the back. He wants to talk to you." I'm like, "Yeah, right." And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there signing stuff. Willie Nelson comes behind the counter, and he goes, "Here's my number, and give me your number. I really like your film. I want to talk to you." Because he was like really anti-war, and it was it was about eugenics and stuff, but a lot of it was about Bush and the North American Union. And about a month later, he calls. He came on the show probably 15 times or so, and I probably hung out with him 10 times. And we had a few events together. But he had like his fifth wife, didn't really like me because once Bush was gone, then I was bashing Obama, and she didn't like that. She's like, "Well, what is this? You're not a Democrat." But
what is this shit?
A few times, 4 or 5 times, I played chess with him in his house outside Austin.
Cool.
And,
Jeffy's going through
and I read
things.
about the news later.
Jeffy has some issues.
Next week. Well, last time I hung out with him,
Jeffy needs attention.
I'm not into celebrity, but someone else into it.
Yeah.
And later I read about him actually with who he said he was doing with playing this week on poker game and what else with the poker game. But let's just say that he was super cool. But back before vaping was huge, this is like 2008, 9, whatever. He would sip something called a volcano.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not a big marijuana guy, so I can barely smoke it.
Yeah.
And he has like a ball on it.
Yeah.
And so he'd go like how long it was like the right stuff, how long you could suck on it or whatever. That thing in right stuff, they're trying to blow the balls.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. And it's like we're playing chess. He's like, "Here you go," and it's like a peace pipe with an Indian. You're like, "All right," and there's Willie Nelson spit on that, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. so I got Jimmy Dore spit in my mouth, which I guess means we're kind of secretly gay now, and Willie Nelson. But no, I was never with either one of them. But that is my true Willie Nelson. I have had. Because I made the joke on air before, the only man spit in my mouth I ever had was Willie Nelson. I just realized Jimmy Dore.
Holy shit. And that's the kind of baby.
Jeffy has a whip. Dude, that's fucked up, bro.
Because, they can have a baby now from 3 males, 3 females. It would be a baby with me, Willie Nelson, Jimmy Dore.
And that baby would save the world. That's what we need.
And the surrogate would be Anna Kasparian.
Throw in Candace Owens for fun, man.
Very cool. Very cool.